shakalaka! Boom shakalaka!
The ultra left-wing liars, losers, creeps, perverts, and freaks.
Boom shakalaka!
Hit it, boys. There's a lot of towns where you could go where a man could hang his hat.
Well, they got microbrews and mega stores, but we ain't down with that.
Well, there's a place I know right up the road where the beers are always cold.
Where a beat-up truck and a fishing pole are worth their weight in gold. Going downtown Radioville, where you can kick back or have you the craziest thrills. You probably won't learn much, but maybe you will. We're going down
Radioville.
Now let's check in on the boys and see what they got themselves into this week.
Well, I'll tell you what's going on.
What is going on?
A great giving of thanks ringing
There
out
sure
across
is.
the
Look at-
land.
Look at that.
That's right.
Got a little got a little festive on you guys, didn't we? The network sprung for a few decorative enhancements for the season.
Thank God for the props department. That's
That's
what
right.
they say, you know.
It's fall, y'all.
That's what this says, in case you can't read it. You guys, we're just getting into the spirit a little bit here in Radioville. The leaves are turning.
The leaves are falling.
There they go. Look at that.
Look at that.
And we're going to talk all things fall tonight.
That's
Phone
right.
lines- phone lines will be open, and you can call in and tell us your favorite things about fall. What do you like to do? Do you like to load in the minivan with the kids, drive out to the country, see the changing colors of the trees?
Oh, majestic.
Yeah. Or do you like to snuggle in with your honey bunny with a nice mug of cider?
With a nice
and-
DVD of
Yeah.
Home Alone 3.
Right, exactly. Or yeah, you maybe, you know, me and my gal, it's just a Christmas story on repeat the whole holiday season.
Yeah.
And boy, if I don't gain 15 pounds just from all the sweets.
From all the-
Yeah, so we'll be taking your calls on
Pussy munching.
on how to keep the weight off during the holiday season.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's a
That's
big
one of the
topic
big
tonight.
topic, yep.
Yeah. Also, your favorite holiday treats. Those two things. What do you? Yeah, the unhealthy food we all enjoy during the holiday season, and how not to eat it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's fall, y'all. Here we go. And I've been embracing a new era of my life.
What's
Speaking of
that?
the changing of seasons, you know.
Yeah.
At a certain level, it is the changing of seasons in my life cycle. You know.
Sure.
So
Metaphorically.
yes, diligent.
You're not menopausal.
No, that's like late winter for men. You don't know anything about biology.
I don't. I'm
Yeah.
not a biologist.
So diligent listeners of the show will have noted that I go through different changes, like a larva of sorts.
Yeah.
And right before your very eyes, I've become a library guy. I'm a library guy. I am
Yeah.
a watch guy. I got a watch.
Yeah. I don't even have a watch on today.
And now I've entered the world of the trades.
That's right.
Yes, I'm a tradesman. Is that what we're called?
That
you've
is-
been, you've been in
yes.
it for a long time. We're talking about men that do like work,
Yeah, man work.
labor.
Yeah.
Never did it. I mean, I've done it.
You've labored.
I've worked in like a kitchen. I've done
Yes.
some stuff, but I never got up at 6 a.m. You go get the tools
In a kitchen,
van, and
you're much more apt to be shoulder to shoulder with the lady folk.
yeah, it's
Because
true.
it's a kitchen.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, now and the type of trade I'm in.
yeah,
okay?
yeah.
What I did is I took a few jobs lately, a few trades, doing shower door installation, right?
Yeah.
So I figure that's on like the low end because I'll tell you, all right, I felt like a Teamster. 90% of my day was kind of just like,
Yeah, that looks straight.
yeah, just
Yeah.
standing there. You carry something for like 20 seconds, and then you're like, all right, what do we do? Because I don't know what the fuck's going on. So most of it was, I wasn't really doing a lot. But it felt good to put in a long, hard, honest day's work.
Like getting up early and getting home with the fucking.
Yeah.
I mean, with this daylight savings, it's pretty dark when you get home, even if it's 4:30.
Right, yeah.
And so it really feels like, wow. Oof.
I worked sun up to sundown.
Yeah.
And it was honest labor, and I left the place more beautiful than it was before I got there.
That is a kind of a cool thing. I know we're being sort of satirical,
Tongue in
here,
cheek.
tongue in cheek, but that is a kind of a cool thing to. What's up, JT? Somebody's commenting. Yeah, no, that is one thing. I've always said, like, my main through line, work wise, in my life has been, well, two things really. One of them illicit, but the other on the up and up, and that is in the trades.
Yeah, the trades.
And I've always thought that, like, it's not fun work. It's not like glamorous, but it is gratifying in one way that you go there and something needs either repair, doesn't work, or looks dated and old and shitty. And when you leave, it's just like the homeowner's happy.
Yes.
You know, the owner's all happy. They're glad to give you the money that you've just earned by your own hands.
In a way, I sort of pity the rest of the workaday world and the people that kind of are in the rat race of the service industry or
the
so many of
financial
these-
sector.
Yeah, so many of these unrewarding, jobs where you don't really get to work with your hands.
Yeah.
Build something. Now, here's something. I think I need some practice with a drill. I'm not very good.
Yeah.
Because
What were you having to drill?
I don't just like
In
well.
the tile?
So a couple times I had to drill through some tile.
Okay.
And put a screw in there with a
Yeah, with an anchor.
like a metal thing. Yeah. Right. No. The anchor I've come to find out is that thing on the end of the screw, the plastic thing.
Yeah.
Who knows what the fuck that thing does? It goes in there and
And
disappears.
it just
It's
magically
gone.
holds the thing onto
I
the
guess. I don't so understand.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, I'm not too good with the drill or the screws. Now, that's really something that I think takes years to probably master.
Yes,
is
the
like-
drill work.
Yeah, the drill work. Well, because I don't know, man. I never did anything like this before. I'm
It's like wobble.
I was always just
wobble.
like weighing bags of weed.
That's
and
what. Yeah, that's my
playing
other.
a guitar and making wisecracks. Like now, I'm venturing out at 39 to try to join the workforce. Like, and I was with my friend Paul.
I was
He
gonna
kinda-
say you couldn't have a better mentor than Paul. He's the most
Yeah.
chill person that there is.
Oh yeah,
Imagine if that job was me and you,
yeah,
and I
yeah,
was leading it.
yeah.
It would be very different.
No, you wouldn't let me. You would be mad. You're mad already. Just imagine.
I know.
it.
I'm thinking about it. I'm
You're
getting a
already.
little. I'm
you'd
starting
be,
to fume.
You'd be calling me the night before to yell at me for
Yeah,
things
dude.
I hadn't even done yet.
fucking
But, like,
make sure when
yeah.
you're drilling, it's fucking straight.
But
dude.
my buddy Paul gets me on the job, and I could tell a couple times he was just like, "Fuck," like he wasn't gonna say it, but I could see the look on his face was just like, "Dude, can you really not screw in this fucking screw? Like, this is a screw? Okay, tell me that. First of all, tell me what to do with it. I don't know. I'm pouring glue on the end of it. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
and so
with a hammer about to like this, and he's like, no.
yeah.
A drill is used for that particular one, Vinny.
I'm spinning a hammer really fast.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on in there, but no, I did like strip a screw, I guess. And,
Yeah.
and that was no good because,
Easy to do.
dude, yeah, you got to be totally straight.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
I see everyone else doing it like, and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
Just
Okay,
wants to
so-
wobble around and then it fucking spins.
Yeah. Anyways, but
Yeah,
it was
no good.
it was good a lot of the time, and I'm good at this. So like, I don't really have to know what I'm doing at a job. I've had a lot of jobs like this,
Yeah.
where you just get used to like fucking looking kind of like you. Like I was Here's what my move was. Paul told me, put a tape measure on your belt.
Yes.
And
then
everyone will think you're fucking know
yeah.
what you're doing.
Once in a while, just pull it out.
Yes.
Act like you're marking something down, like trying to remember a measurement or
That's what I
something,
was
and you're
doing.
good.
When the people were like walk by or whatever, I would just like pick something up and be like, it's just straight.
Yeah.
And just, like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. But so anyways, yeah, so I had a pair of work gloves. So you just take those on and off a bunch, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Just fucking stand around. And that's mostly what I learned is other guys do the work. You
Yeah.
kind of go like, yeah, all right,
All right.
I think I get it. And
You're
oh,
a second set of hands.
do you want me to hold something? All right, cool.
Yeah.
Is this what it's like most of the time? Is this what
No.
you do at your company?
No.
Is that because this is what I imagine? It's like this is the goal, right? I just walked on. I'm like fucking Christopher Maltasano, just like I'm here for a fucking no work and just like
Yeah.
stand there and like why am I getting? I don't know. I carried a glass for 10 seconds and then I was a tradesman and now here I am, a library guy, a watch guy. A general man about town, a philanthropist,
Yeah.
and a tradesman. this is a resume.
Yeah,
This is
it's growing. It's building.
And in the holiday season, I like to call attention to my resume.
Yeah, and kindness.
Yeah. So what do you think?
I mean, I think it's pretty good now. If
not
we're-
good at the drill, not good at the screws.
If we're contrasting that, so Luke and I today had to go over. So we had a job that there was some tiles that were coming loose in a kitchen, and we had to carefully
so you fucking glue them back on.
eliminate the grout around them with a vibrating saw, and then
Who told you that?
pry these tiles up. Now, when we took the dishwasher out to access the back of the tiles to start seeing which ones need to be popped up, there was literally like an inch and a half of standing water underneath it and wicking up the two cabinets on the side. So we're like, here's your problem.
Yeah. The electricians probably left that there, right?
Yeah, they fucking pissed in there.
They fucking no. The electricians are always just leaving pools of water everywhere from the wires. They have to squeeze them out. I've been around, man.
Wringing out the wire
Wringing
bundles.
out the wires, and they just leave because the wires get condensation in the trucks.
They're made out of corn starch.
Some of them. I mean, if you're lucky. But like that's,
I mean, in the first world.
if they're American made.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
You
the thing.
see, Heartland kind of shit, but no.
Speaking of Heartland, look at the beautiful scene behind us, everyone.
Yeah.
Call attention to the immaculate spread.
And as soon as we're done with the show, we're gonna go back here and
We're
sit
gonna have
down
a-
and have a nice Thanksgiving dinner.
I'm gonna have a bite of that
Just the
pumpkin
two
right
of us.
here.
What a great metaphor for the way our lives are going. Like, we wanted to have a Thanksgiving dinner. We're the only two people that agreed to show up. No one else wants to be here. Okay, so
We should have
go back to-
demanded everyone come to a Radioville Thanksgiving. Like we were going to have
This
a
is-
barbecue, and then the next year we were going to have a barbecue, and then the next year.
This is the saddest thing about this show. We're probably one of the only shows out there that has at times invited their entire listener base over and nobody came.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it was like midnight, but
Yeah,
still,
and a
you would
weekday.
think somebody, we used to get
Yeah.
so drunk on the show that by the end of the show we'd just be going, guys, who cares? Just come
Dude,
over
fucking,
here.
you know where
Fucking-
we're at. Luke, I see you're on here, dude. Get over here, you idiot.
Nobody ever did, not one person. So yeah, that was a weird marketing thing we tried. You gotta fucking
Yeah, you got to throw something at the wall, you know?
can't be afraid to fail. But speaking of the trades, right?
Yeah. Yeah, wait, let me contrast. So you were doing that, and then so we had to do that. Then we had to go over to another job, take a spindle out that we had put in where we built an entire new
Now,
railing.
who does the work though?
Yeah, Luke.
Okay, you kind of just are like, yeah, you're chilling,
I
right?
watch him.
Yeah, okay.
And then we had to come back and literally hoof down 6,200 pounds of flooring into a basement unit and into a second floor unit, about half and half. So that took a couple hours of just literally constant putting 50-pound fucking thing of planks on your shoulder and walking up and down stairs.
Oh well, if you only do it 50 at a time,
And
it's
it
gonna
was,
take forever.
oh.
That's I mean,
That was a brutal one. And then we just had to demo all of the shit, which in the demo, I cut the tip off my finger and had to jizz that back on with some cayenne pepper. And that was...
yeah. What does this say you did? You cut off your finger and you jammed it in cayenne pepper
Yeah. It's,
just to be just because
it fucking burns.
But what is it supposed to do? This is like an
Oh,
old.
no, this is not... I told you this at one other time. I've
like
used
an
this.
old Indian.
It's
excuse me,
yeah.
Native American.
Yeah, indigenous.
Anyways, some old trick.
So, yeah, it's like a thing. I used it on my eye when it got split open in a fight that I asked two guys to fight me. They were my friends and we were just wasted. And I ended up going down to the ground and my eye hit this metal edge of a fucking, this old school valet key case that was like made like a fire hydrant. It was like that thick metal. So anyways, my eye hits that and it split open good and drooped my eye down. And so I was like, oh, fuck. The next day I was like, shit, but it already scabbed over. And then I remembered cayenne pepper. I had to use this once before when I took a knife to my own chest in solidarity
You
with
have
a
to walk
couple
back
of...
the entire fucking chain of events.
But
like-
yeah, what it does, and it's commonly known apparently, because when you Google it, you see a shitload of people with testimonials like, I use this, for this. My son cut his finger out, whatever. But what it somehow does, I don't know the mechanism, but it for instance, in the eye, I had to get the scab out. I had to take like a hot washcloth and just wash it until it all that was painful. But and then the cayenne is also painful. It's fucking
Yeah, I would
cayenne.
guess so. I would guess so. Yeah.
But I packed it with that and honey just to keep it in there. And the shit it healed so quickly and so thoroughly that I don't even have a scar here barely. And it was like a half-inch wide. You know what I mean? It was insane. And it healed within like a week. It was gone.
I
And
like when you just find like you
Yeah.
know, we've talked a lot about the lengths we'll go to not have to go to a doctor. I like your first impulse is like, I'm just going to use cayenne and honey and not even really consult a medical professional whatsoever.
This seems legit.
If this doesn't work, we'll talk. You know.
Now wait, Luke's saying, is it dark for anyone else? Are you talking about our display? Let us know in the chat. But yeah, so I when I cut so how I did this was, you know what a mud knife is, right?
Sure, I'm in the trades. Yeah.
6-inch mud knife. It starts at the handle and kind of goes like that, and it's straight like this, right?
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
half circle.
You use it to dig in the garden.
Yeah, you use it to spackle on some shit.
Oh, okay.
So I was trying to get that behind a big mirror that had been glued to the wall previously.
Sure.
So I was trying to like just kind of jimmy it in there.
Somebody did it as a prank, probably.
Yes. But then I'm holding the mirror with this hand, and I had this thing wedged in there. So it's at its thinnest part right here, right? So as you pull it out, it goes like, you know what I mean? It reveals more of the blade. So I was right by my hand, and I wasn't paying attention, and it was like stuck in there. So I'm like just kind of yanking and wiggling it. And then it gives way, and my finger's right here, and it goes, shh. But as it broadens, it just goes against my finger, and it goes, you know what I mean? Just drags it across like, but the plane was like, it was widening still, so it like cut, that's why it cut like across. So it cut the tip off, so then it only made it to like there. You could see where it's bleeding there.
The ever-widening plane, the Tom Villarreal story. How I lost my finger but got back in touch with myself.
Oh.
So, yeah, you hurt your finger there and did the cayenne and how'd it go?
Yeah, so then I just held this on until
Packed
I
it full
left.
of cayenne like a Civil War
Got
soldier.
here,
Like,
then I had to re-flap it because it had started to stick. You know what I mean? So I had to re-flap it, and I got it as much as I could. And then, yeah, I packed it with cayenne, left that on there, and it burns, but it somehow afterwards hurts way less. So that's weird. So a lot of the pain goes away. But yeah, then like 3 hours later, 4 hours later, I'm looking at it, I'm like, this thing looks like I've had it for a fucking week. And so it just, I don't know how it does it, but it like, so I've read.
Do you mean it was gangrenous?
Yeah.
Like,
I had to-
holy shit, it made it way worse. That's, yeah.
Yes.
You know the doctor, do you know how mad a doctor would be if it didn't work and you went in and they're like, okay, what did you do?
Well, listen, first of all, we have to take into consideration the ever-broadening plane of the mud knife. Let's start there. Now, there was a time when my eye was gashed and my chest was knifed.
Now this
He's like, okay,
conversation, this kind of conversation is going to be non-linear.
It's going to be all over the
I'm going
place.
to need you to access an ever-widening plane of understanding.
Yeah.
here.
Now let me take a couple hits of my fucking pen and I'll regale you.
He's just like,
like,
okay,
Jesus
he calls
Christ.
the psych ward. Why don't you just sit here and relax
if
for a little
I
while?
ever told a doctor all the injuries, like the fucking
Oh, you can't tell him.
bone knit that I took to fix my shin
But
bone.
they
when it
get
was-
mad like it's their body.
I know,
Like,
that's the thing. They wouldn't be like, really? I need to know about this.
one time when I
They'd
had
be like, you're fucking crazy. Like, yeah, but it worked.
I had a finger ripping off thing that I then like walked around drunk for hours and all kinds of shit. I just wrapped it in a sock and
Yep.
eventually at like 1 p.m. finally end up at a doctor.
Yeah.
And dude, it was bad. It was like 10 stitches. But so I remember them like scolding me and chastising me like it was their finger.
Yeah.
Going like, well, now this is an old wound, so we have limited options with what we can do.
You're like, just pack it with cayenne.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, I came
I
here
remember.
because the grocery store's not open yet. Like,
Yeah, look,
why-
my spice rack is hard to open with a flappy finger.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, I would have fixed this myself.
But so yeah, so they were all fucking giving me shit about it. I'm like, look, man, tie the fucking whatever, sew it up, do whatever you got to do.
Yeah, and then don't chastise me.
And
Fuck
by the-
off.
by the
and
way-
then take the money that you're making for this.
I was just gonna say, and by the way, I'm
not paying.
never
Yeah,
paying
yeah,
for
yeah.
this.
This is going to collections. It's going into the ether.
Yeah, how is
Every
that?
hospital bill I've ever had.
I don't know. That's one thing I don't get.
Have you ever paid one?
I was delinquent on so many. I've paid a few doctor's bills.
Yeah, doctors. That's different. A visit.
Yeah.
Check out the old Johnson and
The
Johnson.
hospital, which is a story I've told here before, but the time that I was almost dead from septic shock.
Yes.
And I was in the hospital.
It was actually toxic shock syndrome from a tampon gone bad.
Yeah, you. I mean, I always say mysterious bug bite, whatever. No, I was in septic shock, almost died. I was in there for like 6 days, and then at the end of it, I was in the ICU for 4 days, like hallucinating. Didn't know what the fuck. I didn't know if I was where I was or who I was. I remember they asked me my name, and I didn't know. I was like, I don't know, fucking.
I'll tell you later.
Yeah, and so whatever, crazy experience. And at the end of it, they bring me a bill that said like $128,000, and I remember just going like, I was like 26.
Yeah, no.
You know, I'm like, yeah, okay, great.
Oh,
Not
hold
like-
on. I'll get that. Give me till tomorrow.
Yeah, right. I was like, so I remember just laughing, and I was like, I said something like, well, this is, you know, and the lady's like, oh shit, are you poor? Like, goddamn right, I'm poor,
Yeah.
dude. What are you talking about? She's like, oh, let me send the fucking embarrass you with a clipboard lady in here to fucking pry into your
properly
affairs.
pour you up.
To make, because here's what they want. They want you to like fully
Yeah, be shamed.
lay your,
You're
he-
either
lay
paying
your head
with
on the altar,
Yeah.
admit what a piece of shit
Yes,
you are
that
to,
is true.
to a lady with red hair who talks softly and is like wearing a vest.
and is like
yeah,
vaguely like sympathetic, but like also patronizing.
yes, and clinical.
Yeah, clinical, patronizing, and yeah, that's very.
But
I hate that person.
So they sent her in. She's like, okay, how much money do you make? I'm like, I don't know, fucking $400 a week or something. You know, was it like a cook like for 30 hours a week?
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I don't have anything. She's like, oh, okay. She comes back in 10 minutes, and the bill is now like $18,000 or something. I'm like, what did you do? How does this make?
First of all, how did you even do that? You took $110,000 off.
Yeah, I really don't know how any
Oh,
of it
she
worked.
probably used the Jewel app.
Yeah, it was. She's like, you wouldn't believe.
She's like, how many
savings on this."
coupons I have
Yeah.
in my office? Let me go see what I could do for you.
She probably-
she comes back.
That's how the hospital system ran at the time. It was actually Marlboro miles. She's like, I've been saving these since the 80s. I can help you.
I
out."
was gonna get a beach radio, but I guess I
Yeah,
could
right.
help you with your fucking $130,000 bill.
Right, yeah. I was gonna, yeah. The Marlboro beach radio was a classic.
Oh yeah.
I wish I had one of those now. Right now. You know what? If I had one right here, right now, I would just say, fuck this, and I'd put it on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm bringing one in next week, so that's all we have.
I found
to
a
do.
bunch of the other day in some of my old things. I found camel plates,
Toes.
and it was just reminding me. And I had like those camel Turkish gold
Toes.
tins and stuff, and like just the whole. They were all from like high school. All this stuff was.
Oh, yeah.
you know, a bunch of old.
That's all
boxes
we
of
ever.
shit.
That's the only people that got Marlboro shit was high schoolers.
Dude, it was such a brilliant.
There was a
scheme.
few 22, 23-year-olds. Like I knew, like my older brother and them. You know what I always wanted? I wanted the fucking waterproof cigarette holder. It was like a clamshell, like plastic thing that like sealed, and you could have your cigarettes in there. And it was like they showed it like floating when it fell out of a boat or something. And I'm like, dude, weed. You know what I mean? That's how you fucking protect your weed.
Well, yeah, I know, but then you realize later, like I could just have a Tupperware,
Yeah, or just
like
a bag,
couple
a
bags,
Ziploc baggie,
Yeah.
which I've done already the whole time.
But they made, when I was in high school, they started making like candy flavored cigarettes again. There was like the Turkish Royals and the fucking there was like Bayou Blast and like a bunch of these like weird flavors that were
Yeah.
like, and then the ones you fucking squeeze and they taste like this
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah,
They
yeah.
changed the menthol and stuff, and it was all these gimmicky things. And it was the only people that had to be buying those were like teenagers,
Yeah, of
no
course.
serious adults.
No, they're like, I
Just
already
going
know what
by-
I smoke.
Me and my friends had it, and I don't know who like shot this into our brain somehow, but we had the idea that it was like you had to have a Turkish Royal cigarette and a vanilla Coke together, and it was the greatest combination. It was
Remember
all-
having the dumbass things like, dude, somebody would say it, and then for whatever reason, the whole group of friends would be like somehow on board, and then next thing you know, it's the groups thing, and then they're all telling people at parties like, dude, you never tried a fucking Heineken and a fucking shot of vodka or whatever it is. And it's like, dude, it tastes like this or it does this.
I remember
or
we
it's
had
bullshit.
one that was
It was all nonsense.
Cool Ranch Doritos,
Okay.
and Tostitos bean dip.
Well, yeah, that's delicious.
That was fucking great.
Yeah.
All right, and that was like one, but that was one that like kids are weird because it is good, but then it becomes a thing. I've seen like other kids do this, like when we worked at a place like closer to the city, and for some reason like whatever, like Cheetos and cheese had become like a popular thing, and it was like in a few songs and stuff. And then
Yeah,
you
yeah,
saw
yeah.
it became like every single kid bought it.
Yeah.
And I don't doubt that it tastes good to you, but it's
No, but
like
it's just like-
I did the same thing when I was a kid. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, dude, here's what we get. We get a Snickers and an Arizona iced tea. That's the fucking move. That's what you do, and everybody gets the exact same thing. It's
Yeah.
a weird thing that you have to have.
Trendy eating.
Yeah,
It's idiotic.
Yeah, and
But
yeah.
that's like, Takis were like that, hot Takis. There was a fucking weird YouTube song years ago, but it was like urban, you know what I mean? It was like, my hot Takis and Cheetos or whatever the fuck it was.
yeah, yeah.
And everybody was like, dude, Takis are the greatest. And I'm like, these things have been around. They're fucking not good also. You like Takis? They're too hard.
Nah, I can't eat those.
It's like a fucking, you're like, it's a
I don't think I've ever had one.
spice-flavored candy cane. It's
I don't
bullshit.
think I've ever had one, but thank God we don't have to worry about that because Thanksgiving is just around the corner, everyone.
Oh, yeah.
That's right, isn't it? But as we all know, everything you ever heard about Thanksgiving, everything you ever heard about Thanksgiving turns out to be a lie when
Yeah.
you dig into it, right?
That's right.
Don't you think?
Yes.
In fact, when you go back to the first Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
turkeys hadn't even been invented yet.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually like they're a crossbreed of an ostrich and a robin.
Yes.
And that came much later. you
Yeah,
know.
they didn't have
And
the technology yet.
There was, yeah, exactly. Not until Gregor Mendel spliced the genome and created the first melancholy, which was a melon
And collie.
and a border
dog.
collie. Yeah. And not until then did they truly understand how to manipulate genetics. So, anyways, what they were actually eating was what historians think was probably more something like, it wasn't like squash and sweet potatoes and turkey. It was like raccoons and rhubarb.
See, now I have read that it was mostly venison, wild pig, and like pumpkin and cranberry and corn.
No.
That's what I've.
A lot of them just ate other people. I mean, that
The
was
first
like a
Thanksgiving,
big at the fir-
cannibal style.
The first Thanksgiving did have, yeah. I mean, there were. See, back then though, that wasn't weird. You all at a big feast, you did have one.
That's just what you did.
Guy roasting, and like not everybody would eat it, but it was.
No, you didn't have to partake, but if you didn't, you were looked at cross.
And here's the other thing. I think a lot of times the history gets mixed up on a lot of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like they say that the Native Americans and the Pilgrims all sat down together, but really, when you
the Pilgrims sat down and they made the Indians stand near by the side.
the Indians were the butlers of the whole thing, and they liked it. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, they were
People-
into service.
They had
of their fellow man.
Yeah, the some of the Mesoamerican cultures of the time, the historians call them the butlers of history.
Yes.
And that was what they were known for. That's why do you think Cortez had such an easy time? He wrote in his
He literally was just asking for stuff.
yeah, it's some people on his ships actually recorded in their logs.
Lots of stuff.
The shore, the shores lined with tuxedo-laden butlers and trays of gold and cocoa adorned them.
Yeah.
Remember that passage?
Oh yeah. No, I remember. Of course.
Anyways, the stories of these lands are great and many and varied, but surely we can all agree that the first Thanksgiving was a brutal and savage attack by the Native Americans on the Pilgrims. They had done a Trojan horse thing pretending to be butlers.
Yeah.
And gotten close. And it was like,
And
it was
just-
like Under Siege too.
Yeah.
They pretended and they were cooking the food and they were like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
we're all here to fucking party and we're gonna.
And here's the thing: is the Pilgrims.
they fucking
here-
slit John Smith's throat.
Here's the thing, though: the Pilgrims came from such a pious and trusting society
Mm-hmm.
that they didn't realize that the savages were, looking at them cross.
Dude, they laid low. The Indians laid low for like 120 years, and this was their first. This was their first attack. Yeah, and a lot of people get this confused with like Little Bighorn,
or bigger Biddle Gighorn,
or even Roswell, because the aliens were
Native Americans.
Yeah, basically, people get that confused.
Yeah.
A lot of those things were just Native American attacks.
Yeah.
9/11. That was
All of
another
these
one.
things.
That was,
These are creative tellings.
yeah,
You know what I
right.
mean? They're creative tellings of what happened, but really what happened was just a savage Indian attack.
And there's been like a whitewashing or a red washing, if you
really.
will,
Yeah.
of history, in that like the stock market crash, the
Indian
Holocaust.
attack.
You know
Indian
what I mean?
attack.
Yeah. Cambodia, the
Indian
starvation.
attack.
Yeah.
The killing field, India.
Yeah.
Attack.
That fucking creepy treaty about Antarctica in 1969.
Indian attack.
Yeah. What else? Gold Rush.
The Indian attack. Yeah, so basically what we're saying is we know who really is heading things up.
This is the thing. You got to look deeper at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, like here's whoever it is that you cannot criticize by de facto must run everything. So
Yeah.
we know who it is. Anyways, so Thanksgiving itself.
Yeah. Look around. You probably live on a street named after one of these guys.
Yeah.
Right now, your town, everywhere around. I mean, what do you think? It is weird, right? They're we've just faded into the annals of history, and we're now just part of the shadowy backdrop of
Now we're
American
just
lore.
drunks.
Really? You're not running everything behind the scenes?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, really? Red Crow,
Yeah.
Chief Brown Bottom.
Yeah. Chief Wolfenstein. Oh, yeah, they're in cahoots for sure. Anyways.
But the first Thanksgiving,
yeah.
I think people might have a misconception about it, and I think you dug up some real, true history on it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I found out that pretty much everything they know about the first Thanksgiving pretty much came from one letter.
Yeah.
A guy by the name of Eddie Winslow
That's right.
from Family Matters, a name we couldn't remember a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, when we were talking about Theo Huxtable, couldn't remember the.
Did I call him Theo Huxtable? And
that was it. And then it pointed out your racism, and then we couldn't.
I did a mild black guy mix-up.
Yeah, we couldn't remember the name of the much, much less important Eddie Winslow on Family Matters. But apparently, he was alive during the first
Okay.
true Thanksgiving. In
No, the
1621.
actual, this guy led an interesting life. You know, he was part of who became the Pilgrims. You know, at the time they were just called separatists, I believe.
Yeah.
And some of them had left England,
Yeah.
I believe gone even up to the Netherlands, some other regions, and hadn't really back then been able to establish themselves as a culture. And that was kind of one of their main things. Is like, we're having to meld into other cultures, other places. We would
Other
like
religions,
to,
really,
other
is the
religions.
biggest, yeah.
Yeah, we'd like to.
They were being persecuted by the Church of England.
Oh, relentlessly.
Relentlessly.
And by the weather, by
Yes.
by
the dismal conditions
yeah,
everywhere.
changes in fashion trends. You got to keep up with that.
The constant coal smoke in the air that suffocated every living
I
creature.
don't know if they even had that yet.
Oh yeah.
But so speaking of fashion trends, no buckles.
Not yet.
It was all a lie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways,
Not yet.
So they had he had been part of some of the original people that had come to forge a new life,
An existence
in the Americas.
Yes.
And had even fought in in the English Civil War, I believe, under Cromwell.
Oh.
Was jailed by King James for 17
for fighting
weeks
for
or something.
Cromwell.
For spitting on the sidewalk, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
What
But
is this,
anyways,
Portland.
here he is now in the New World, and apparently a witness to what became known as the first Thanksgiving. And
Regale us, sir.
he wrote this letter. I'm not sure. It doesn't really say to who. I'm not sure if it's known, but it's a letter of Edward Winslow, December 11th, 1621. And do you want to do the?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Loving an old friend. Although I received no letter from you by this ship, yet for as much as I know you expect the performance of my promise, which was to write unto you truly and faithfully of all things, I have therefore at this time sent unto you accordingly. Holy shit, man. I mean, like, just...
Yeah.
They really did have to get so flowery back then anyways.
But
sorry.
also, who's okay? Yeah, let's just. I know we're only one sentence in, guys.
I know, but that was a hell of a sentence.
It was a hell of a
It's
sentence, and also a hell of an expectation. Like,
all he said is, I haven't heard from you, so I'm writing you again, basically.
well, no, he's saying like, I know you expect the performance of my promise, which was to write to you everything. Like, hey, dude, if I fucking make it there, I'm going across the unknown
Yeah.
on a boat.
even at
on
that,
a rickety boat.
even at that time.
Sorry, I was a little late with the letter.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like, why are you apologizing? You just fucking traversed the goddamn globe on
Yeah.
a fucking rickety wood bitch fucking boat.
In fact, everyone who's ever touched this letter is probably dead.
Oh.
Now, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, let's we'll try to
Wait, is it a curse?
we'll try to get something. Yeah, this is the cursed letter of Edward Winslow, 1621. Probably all lies, but we're gonna see if there's anything in here.
Yes, let's see.
Referring you for further satisfaction to our more large relations. Huh? You shall understand that in this little time that a few of us have been here, we have built 7 dwelling houses and 4 for the use of the plantation, and have made preparation for diverse others. We set the last spring some 20 acres of Indian corn, and sowed some 6 acres of barley and peas, and according to the manner of the Indians, we manured our ground with herrings, or rather shads, which we have in great abundance, and take with great ease at our doors. Our corn did prove well, and God be praised, we had a good increase of Indian corn. Our barley indifferent
Barley.
good. Oh, our barley indifferent good. I don't know. It's very odd
It is not
how much language has changed. But our peas not worth the gathering, for we feared they were too late sown. They came up very well and blossomed, but the sun parched them in the blossom. Our harvest being gotten in, our governor sent 4 men on fowling, so that we might after a more special manner rejoice together. After we had gathered the fruit of our labors, they 4 in one day killed as much fowl as with little help besides served the company almost a week, at which time, amongst other reactions, we exercised our arms. Yeah, many of the Indians coming amongst us, and among the rest, their greatest king, Massasoit, I think.
Yeah.
And some 90 men, whom for 3 days we entertained and feasted, and they went out and killed 5 deer, which they brought to the plantation and bestowed on our governor, upon the captain and others. So yeah, what I never understood about Thanksgiving is, what is the big deal? I don't think it was that uncommon for people to get together and get a bunch of food going and eat and party for a while. Like,
Yeah.
why? So this wasn't even a real holiday. Okay, but that was just kind of interesting to look at for a second. But the more I think about it, it's like, there's no fucking way that this is at all new or unique in any way. Like there's obviously,
No, there
if
was
we
a-
know anything about humans, there have been harvest celebrations forever.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I
Yeah, of
mean? This is
course.
just there's nothing unique about it. In fact, a lot of people didn't want it to be a holiday for a long time.
But this
There
one,
was-
I think he says, well, wait.
what?
me
Should we
see
do a little more of the letter? Or?
Sure.
But we're just seeing again, like we always see, and we saw this a few days ago in the old pioneer letters and
Yeah.
stuff like this. I mean, when we look at these historical letters and stuff, I can't really think of one where it's like, and I'm sure that obviously it happened, but I haven't seen many where it's like, we just cannot get along with these fucking Indians. It's usually
Yeah.
like, the local Indian tribe came by, we had some stew, it was cool, like we went hunting
Kicked it
together
for
like,
3
yeah.
days too. They were just fucking chilled. They stayed over for 3 fucking days.
Right. And their main enemy, I think, like I was saying before, became the federal government,
Yes.
when they just wouldn't fall in line with taxation and stuff. But yeah, so what do you want to do? More of this or?
Well, that in this little time that a few of us have been here, we've built 7 dwelling houses and 4 for the plantation. So I'm just trying to get an idea of a time frame, because then how many seasons is that? How many fucking?
Oh, I think
You had to have a house before the first winter, because I thought that was the story.
I think at this time they've only been here
This
for
is
like
the first
like a year or two.
winter.
Yeah, because they were also celebrating. Yeah, so yeah, maybe it was. Yeah.
That's what I thought, and
Yeah.
like the Indians sort of explained to them how to fucking. That's what he's saying is like
How to fucking chill.
how to
just
fucking be dope, and
vibe
shit, you know
out,
what I'm saying?
dude.
Yeah. Vibe.
Just get in a circle, just fucking get high and
Oh
shit.
my god!
But we must have dwellings for the winter.
Praise be.
The Indians are all like, bro, dude, you guys fucking
Dog, you
worry
guys
too
are
much,
fucking
dude.
need to chill more, man. What
Yeah.
the fuck, bro?
Dude, if
Yeah.
I get cold, I just like cut open a
Dude.
buffalo and just fucking chill, dude.
Fucking dude, come see our fucking boy Massasoit, dude. He's fucking rad, man. You gotta
Dude.
see him, bro.
He'll
I'm telling
smoke you out,
dude. You ever fucking hit his peace pipe? You're gonna be fucking face down in the fucking shads, bro.
Yeah. What is a shad?
I think it's a small fish, like a fucking what are those little smoked fucking chubs and shads and yeah.
Wow. Where'd you get that from?
Yeah, old nugget.
Yeah, okay.
Growing up with Tony.
All right, should we see what else they did with
Sure.
their first Thanksgiving there?
not?
Again, the letter of Edward Winslow, 1621. And although it be not always so plentiful as it was at this time with us, yet by the goodness of God we are so far from want that we often wish you partakers of our plenty. Jesus, I hate the way... I would hate to be alive then. This is how you had to talk. What if you were a normal talker back then?
Yeah.
Just losing your mind, walking around like a 1600s Larry David, just like, would you get to the point?
Yeah.
So, all right.
Please, I've got to go to the river and wash my feet. Just can we be a little brief?
And although, oh wait, sorry, okay. We have found the Indians very faithful in their covenant of peace with us, very loving and ready to pleasure us. Ooh,
Whoa.
ooh,
Hey.
ooh.
That is nice. Jesus, they were more than a butler, I'll tell you that.
We often go to them, I bet you do, Winslow.
Yeah.
And they come to us. Whoa. Some of us have been 50 miles by land in the country with them. Yeah, I bet you want to get them out in the middle of nowhere, don't you? The squaws and the squantos. Yeah. The occasions and relations whereof you shall understand by our general and more full declaration of these things are worth the noting. Yea, it hath pleased God so to possess the Indians with a fear of us
Yeah.
and love unto us, that not only the greatest king amongst them called Massasoit, but also the princes and peoples round about us have either made suit unto us or been glad of any occasion to make peace with us, so that 7 of them at once have sent their messengers to us to that end. Yea, and flee at flay. What do you think that is?
I don't know.
Flee at
Flee
sea. Which we never saw, hath also together with the former yielded, willing to be under the protection and subjects to our sovereign Lord King James, so that there is now great peace amongst the Indians themselves, which was not formerly, neither would have been but for us. So he's basically saying,
He's
like,
claiming
here's
some
what he's
shit
saying.
here, yeah.
The Indians fucking love us. We're having a great time with them, and thank God they fucking are really afraid of us, which they should be. And
Yeah.
and also any peace that they have between them is because of us.
yeah.
Because we are like a godlike governing body here, and we are so awesome and fearsome to them that they have ceased their eons of warring, which never would have been the case if we had not graced their shores with our Puritan presence. So that's cool.
Oh, good. My mouse is gone. That should
Did it
be
run out of
easy to-
batteries?
No. Oh, maybe.
Yeah, just try the regular one on the old computer there.
Still no arrow there. That's going to be real tough to navigate the old broadcasting.
Lost cursor, huh? I've seen this before.
Yeah, but I'll make fucking do. Things highlight.
Yeah, you know, this happens from time to time.
Yeah. It's never a good foreshadowing element.
Yeah.
It usually means the computer's about to fucking phase out.
Guys, it's the case of the lost cursor. You guys can play along at home, and if anybody can locate it, we are giving away a copy of Tom's game, Libtards.
Yes.
The game.
Yeah,
It's a card
Libtard the
game,
game.
that you can get on Amazon. Look it up. We'll run an ad for it later.
Yes. Now I'm going to say a few things here.
Go ahead, Tom.
What it says, or
You know
what
what?
it seems to me.
Hold on, Tom.
Yeah.
Run that shit back for me.
What it seems like to me. And now I am not even getting a fucking cursor or a fucking highlight.
What it seems like to you.
Is, well, I can't do this. I know you'd love me to do this and try and talk, but I can't. I have to be able to switch between things. So, what it seems like to me is
There you
that
did it.
they weren't, or no, they were because you had said earlier they weren't pilgrims yet. These are pilgrims.
Well, they weren't called pilgrims. They were called separatists.
They were like PGs because they came in and fucking cleaned the whole fucking neighborhood.
That's a pilgrim.
They fucking stopped all of the other small warring factions of the gangs. And then everyone, they became the central gang. You see it. They're like, everyone's just kind of kissing their ass.
'Cause, yeah.
Coming by, fucking bringing some shit.
Well, your idea-
Sending reps to them to like fucking figure out what they can and can't do. Shit like this. They're gangsters, man.
So somewhere across...
Gangsters of God.
Somewhere on the ship, on their way across the ocean, they became pilgrims. Because that is in your mind, like what they
Like,
taught
dude,
us
what
when
are we
were
gonna
kids.
f- yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
the pilgrims, they had their foot up on the fucking mast. They're just coming in like... fucking just kicking the Indians over. Like, here's what we got for you.
Yeah. Be good.
Teach us everything we need to know to survive, and
And we won't
we
kill
won't
you.
kill you.
That's all it is.
But that was a good trade back then. I mean, a lot of times that was a way better trade than other people were offering. You know,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
we get a lot of guff over here for the old
Yeah.
genocide and whatever. But like, you know what I mean? It was, but it's confusing. Like we keep
It
talking
is
about,
confusing because-
all the accounts of like people are, and it's what you would expect in general. It's how things are. Like you can hear as much as you want to hear about like how much all the races hate each other, but you go down to fucking Jackson, Mississippi.
That's
Guess
fine.
what? Everybody's living together. They're all working together. They
Yeah.
might talk shit when they get home.
I was
but
gonna say,
they're-
no, you know what the
but they're
biggest
getting along.
thing-
Same as back then. It's like, dude, those fucking weird ass Indians, and they were like all those weird ass whites.
It's always
and-
the problem
but
is
they got along.
when things are good, everyone's getting along. But it's always like, hey, something comes up missing. They're not like, it was probably Joe. It's like those fucking Indians. That's
Yeah.
what it is. Or just like in any kind of time of like turmoil, when that starts, then you see where the fucking tribal barriers are.
Easy scapegoats.
Yeah, it's just like
Gotta have.
yeah,
gotta have one,
that's
though.
where
I
because
mean,
but in general, I think you're right. Which is when you say like, for the most part, people get along. It's not the fucking it's not what we are told.
it does usually because it's I mean it's the
Like
same,
even now, I'm saying.
it's the same thing as how in general most people don't really want there to be a war. It takes some kind of power structure.
Yeah, takes
To
a
really
some
get
real
people going, you
propaganda.
know? Yeah.
That's really what it takes. It's always propaganda.
Somebody who doesn't have those pesky winter holidays to sit around. Somebody who can take those off and really do some planning and some scheming.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, as far as the pilgrims go, that is true though. We've always this is what I found was so stupid when people were trying to like protest Thanksgiving and shit. It was like, no.
What about
this-
it?
They were just like, oh, this represents the colonization and genocide of the indigenous people on the continent, North America. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. It literally signifies the two people cooperating and like bringing a more peaceful and plentiful time for a long time. They had a good co-op going for like fucking hundreds of years.
yeah, I mean, like I keep saying, let's not tie ourselves, the people that live on the land and do things, to
Yeah.
the federal government, who was the real enemy of both of those sides, too. That's the
Yeah.
other thing. They became the real enemy of the Native American in the military, but that was also the enemy of the whites in Appalachia.
Yeah.
And to a certain
It's
extent,
everyone.
in the deep south and even out west and wherever.
And the
Yeah, I mean,
Texans and
yeah,
the fucking
sure.
Californians and
Yeah, yeah.
everywhere. Tennessee. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't want we kind of wanted them around. We wanted like turquoise stuff sometimes.
For sure.
And
We
like,
it was a very select few. Now, okay, wait a minute. I think the tribes down by my tribes down there, I think we kind of fucked things up for
What
some
tribes?
people. Like the fucking, Apaches and the Comanches and the
Yeah.
they were pretty murderous.
yeah, some of those guys were out of control, out of line.
We just
Really-
fucking attack any settlement, any encampment, anything that we found. We were like, nope, you guys aren't welcome here. Fuck off. Which, by all means, that's sort of you're right. Like, I don't agree with that's their culture to like justify raping and pillaging and stuff like that. Because I've heard this literally excused by
Yeah.
well, that's their culture. I'm like, shut the fuck up. But
you know,
that
those
I do
tribes-
kind of understand.
Those tribes had probably migrated from South America more. And like,
Actually, you know what's something weird?
What?
Is the Apaches are the only other tribe that speaks the dialects that they speak are called Athabascan. And the only other tribes that speak that are the Inuit, like some of the Eskimos. So there's like this massive divide of area with these two the same dialect.
yeah, there's all kinds of weird shit like that.
Yeah.
huh?
And they claim that it's because they had runners that could like catch threads of reality, you know what I mean? And like run across the country in an hour or a day or whatever. Like that's the lore and shit that they like would send messengers and they like basically
So they would just never stop anywhere in between, and that's
Yeah.
why you have this big gap, dude. They would. It's like a hell of a
Oh,
thing.
goddamn.
You know what? These guys can cover a lot of ground,
But they can't-
Once they get going, it's a hell. They have a hell of a time stopping. It's like, well, do
was
you
that
ever,
Saskatchewan?
do you ever go like half the distance? Can't.
Can't do it.
No.
Start it
Yeah.
up. Got to
Right.
stop right up. The quickest they could stop is
We leave
is fucking-
zero cultural imprint between Alaska and Oklahoma. All right. Why do you need to get over there? It's fun. But yeah, so though I was gonna say, I know like it seems I don't know. I was thinking about Argentina today a lot.
Okay.
And I don't know if we want to get right into this or
Sure.
we want to do more Thanksgiving stuff or whatever. Who knows? Hey.
We can always come back to Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it just seems like and I don't know if this is just a naive kind of viewpoint or whatever, but the South American tribes
Yeah.
seemed like so much more like hard to fucking corral. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if it has to do with the terrain.
Probably
that they're
the
in the jungle,
rainforest,
but
yeah.
like Peru, you know,
All
still
those Peruvians are
still
fucking.
has things that
Yeah.
it's like, dude, you don't think modern society would have in general had a tendency to envelop or conquer them by now, but they are still holding out through sheer tenacity of will.
Yeah.
In the jungle, just being incredibly fucking hostile to anyone that comes near them.
Yeah, just hunter gatherers. Also tiny.
Yeah. So I mean, what I'm saying is, if your tribes had come
Yeah.
up from South America more, I would expect that type of behavior. Now, the peaceful
Yeah.
Japanesey natives that look,
Yes.
because I told you, I realized not that long ago. So that, you know, if the Asiatic theory is true that they crossed the land bridge, and I realize there's a lot of gray area.
Yes,
We're
a
not
lot
sure
of-
who the mound builders were.
Sure.
And even the woodland area is kind of murky.
Why
And
there's
a-
things way predating the Clovis tip.
yeah,
shit
nobody's
like
really sure.
this.
Some people think they were even Europeans or
Yeah,
or
or
what do you call
aliens.
it?
They were-
like
They have the same creation
Nordic.
myths, though.
Nordic,
Yeah, Nordic.
Anyways, whatever. If you assume the Asiatic land bridge theory is at least happened, okay, that means, you know, basically Japanese people were coming over here. And so then I'm sitting at a Mexican restaurant
Yeah.
like 6 months ago, and they had an open kitchen, and I was looking at the guy, and he had, didn't help that he also had like a red bandana tied a very kind of Japanesey sort of way too.
Yeah.
But he had like a pointy beard and a mustache, and his hair like tied back, and just his face structure and stuff. I was like, what the hell is that Japanese guy doing in this Mexican kitchen? And then I realized he was Mexican, but then I realized,
They
hold
are,
on,
yeah, it's the same.
Mexicans are Japanese,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
So that's
They're
what I
definitely
think.
more
And they were-
Japanese than Chinese.
And they were from like a more, you know, advanced.
But I would say
peaceful-
Mongolian. That's what I would always go on. Like that mix of that like that, you know, Eurasian sort of
Eurasian.
native. We're all Asian.
Yeah.
They're making the frogs gay.
I'm not being defensive.
But yeah,
Oh,
that's what
yeah,
I always
yeah.
thought.
Should we look at that? What time is it? Yeah, guys, we got some
Oh,
great
we're,
stuff.
we're right
yeah.
at 57.
So
We'll
when
right when we
back-
come back, yeah.
And the reason I was thinking of Argentinians,
yes, there's so much.
is it's an interesting place, and you know, their cultural history and their political history does tie into, you know, just like a lot of countries down there. It's funny how like we have this thing of like, well, we took the Indians and put them over here,
Yeah.
and then we started calling them a different thing every 10 years and pretending we really fucking respect
Care.
the shit
Yeah,
out of them,
yeah,
and naming shit after
And
them,
gave 'em
and be
casinos.
like, yeah, right. And we're letting that fucking guy build a giant crazy horse statue. It's
Yeah,
great.
why
And
not?
so yeah, so down there, it's like it's funny to see like a completely different, you know, variation.
Yeah,
of
like the
history play out.
substructures of society.
Well, it
down
still
there.
exists. Like
yeah,
they're,
like
you know,
the cultural substructures. Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
like,
the
they,
jungle
yeah.
tribes still have somewhat of a presence in
Yeah.
politics and like and
Yeah.
whatever else. And it's an interesting thing.
Also, so do the tribe.
The desert tribe.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, they're always around. Well, Argentina, but Argentina's primarily made up. I didn't know this
Of
Italians.
Oh yeah, it is Italians and yeah,
Germans.
yeah.
and
Well, the Germans went all the way.
and Spanish. But that's the thing is like
Spanish
actually
makes sense.
At this point, the racial majority is, or the vast majority of people there are in some way in descent, not too dissimilar from here.
Yeah.
Are descendant of migrants.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things actually similar about Argentina to here. We'll get into
They
those
have,
more.
I will
in,
say
in
this.
a few minutes here.
I've met but a few ladies from Argentina, and every fucking one of them was like, make you fall in love with them upon sight. Beautiful
Yeah, there is
and cool as shit too, man.
there is something to say for like
And I
the
never got one.
there is something to say. I don't like the way you said that.
What?
These women in danger. There is something about the mixing up of certain,
Yeah, races.
races, and it's like,
Yeah.
you know, as a proud white man, I hate to say it, but look,
If you have a little diversity in you,
It almost does seem like there's a genetic encouragement to just get it over with
I agree
and
with-
turn
I-
everybody
I
into
agree.
gray aliens eventually.
Yeah.
Let's just get it done.
Well, I
Let's
think
just
that's
become,
the lack of sunlight that they're promoting now with everything being on a screen, and then the shitty food. I think that's why we're all looking gray and sullen.
I'm halfway there. Yeah.
You're gonna be bleep blorp
Hey,
soon.
beam me up. Yeah, but I don't know. There is like
Speaking of Indians,
yeah, all our cultural jabs are mixed up. Anyways, what are we doing? What are we doing for a break tonight? Do you have any ideas?
I don't know. What did we do last time?
Because when we
did,
come back, we're going to be talking about this new president. An upset victory, apparently a big surprise to a lot of people in Argentina. They've elected who they're calling a libertarian, a controversial figure.
he's a fucking spitfire.
They're
He's a
calling him
wildcat.
the Argentinian Trump. We're going to check him out.
We are.
Alex Jones made a video game. We're gonna look at that.
Oh, God.
And got a couple other little surprises.
I
for
actually
you guys.
watched. Yeah, I watched that whole thing and the whole fucking walkthrough.
Yeah, we got, dude. The Alex Jones thing is fucking awesome. We got some.
It
great
was,
stuff.
dude. I was
Got some
really
great stuff to
high,
show you.
and I was digging it.
So in the
Pretty
break
high.
here, we're gonna play a classic Radioville.
Yeah, let's
clip
go with a classic.
from YouTube here, and Tom will pick it out here in real time. It'll be something that we did many months ago. A lot of people get confused and think that our souls have been trapped in a tiny box
Yep.
and are on display here in some kind of spiritual zoo. No, in fact, this is
It's not that.
this is an old recording of a segment that we did a long time
Yes,
ago.
and thank
So-
you for explaining that. We do have frantic callers and commenters every single time we do one of these.
Yeah, fret not.
So.
Take your Xanax, everybody.
Yeah,
Vibe
everyone
out in the
take
chat.
Yeah,
We'll be right back.
Because like if you go up north, like everyone comments on it and talks about it, you know how friendly Canadians are. Even assholes in Canada are like a fucking 2 on the U.S. scale of asshole. But so then you notice it when you go up north.
In the United States, if you go to just like a suburban shopping center and find like the lamest looking person you can and like walk up and talk shit to him, that guy will fucking stab you in the face.
Yeah.
Like 9 times out of 10. Everybody's crazy here.
Yeah, they're
Everybody's
just high
constantly
strong.
on
They're
edge, like-
fucking on edge. Yeah.
Yeah, like how many times have you seen a seemingly just like normal, tame person become a fucking maniac here? You know, in a confrontation. And it's like,
Oh, I've
I
seen
don't-
to it.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
I was not going to let the situation rest until they did.
Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes you'll accept no less.
Yeah, I
But no,
will
yeah, we
pull
are-
it out
we're
of
just
you.
like we're a high-strung, fucking angry country. I
Yes,
feel like.
but my point being is if you go north of us, because we only have a little bit till you're out of this country, those northerners are fucking friendly by our standards. Like, I mean, we've talked about the court case. You know what I mean? It's just insanely different. But when you go south, like people, there is like that certain population of people in the south that are like that southern hospitality type. But
That's-
man, you
it's all
got
funny.
way more fucking assholes down south than you have up north. That's my point.
What? You think you have more assholes down south than north?
Then north of us, yeah. If you go south of us, you're gonna have a higher concentration of assholes
but,
than
like,
if you
why
go
is
north of
our-
us. Here
why
we
is
have the highest concentration.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
we are like at the exact. What is it?
yeah, we're venomous.
we have like the highest asshole.
Yeah, we're at the
potential.
precipice of fucking assholdom.
It really is. Right?
Yeah, oh yeah. Chicago's a real bastion for fucking bastards. They really
But I like it.
gavone it up.
Every
No,
time
I'm good with it because
Yeah.
then I leave, I go anywhere and I'm like refreshed.
Well, dude, all right. So when I would go out to Colorado, like Darcy would tell me later, and I would realize later, like these people thought I was a fucking psycho because it was like I'm used to a certain style of joking around and a certain
Yes.
style of language.
Oh, yeah.
and shit. And I'm even
Just
in
sharp,
Colorado-
curt.
Here's what's funny, like when you're on 70, if there's a crash and there's nowhere to turn off for miles and miles and miles, so traffic just stops if they have to clear the road.
Yeah.
So until that happens, it's a parking lot and there's literally nothing anyone can do.
Everyone just gets out, walks around,
Dude,
smokes
everyone.
weed.
So
Yeah.
this happens, and it didn't take 20 seconds. We came to a stop. all of a sudden people are playing frisbee and shit and hanging out with each other and stuff. And me and Darcy locked the doors. I was like, I don't fucking know these people. Dude.
yeah.
Chill out. Don't look at them. Don't look at them. You know, and like, just like all fucking nervous.
Who the
I'm
fuck?
Like, why is everyone... Yeah, dude. I'm
Why
like,
are they acting
walking
nice?
around. And then I started to be like, wait, they're all talking to each other. They know each other or something? What the fuck is going on here? But anyways, whatever. And then I'm hanging out with these construction guys that were stopped on some kind of work truck or whatever. And I figure, all right, maybe these guys will be normal because everyone else I talked to was all stoic and polite all the time in Colorado. And so I talked to these guys. Sure enough, Darcy says after we're done, she's like, did you notice you were the only one that said fuck or cunt or faggot that entire time?
Yeah, 70
I'm
times in 5 minutes.
And I'm like, I thought they were like construction dudes, you know?
Yeah,
like, what
that's
the
how
fuck?
they talk.
Anyways, yeah, you leave here a lot of times, man, and everywhere I went, my like sensibilities and the kinds of joke I would tend to make, you would just people kind of glaze over and be like,
Oh,
yeah, I guess you could kick a guy in the leg.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah.
Like,
I guess a baby would deserve that. Anyways, I gotta get back to my wife.
I remember talking outside to like the people I was there to meet, and I'm not gonna say what kind it was for. But so I
didn't even have to say that.
I know. I'm talking outside this restaurant, and I just see like this really obese guy walking across the street, and just out of habit, I was like, "Look at this fat fucking pile of shit" or whatever. And the way they looked at me, dude, was a wonder they even spoke to me again because they just looked at me like, what is wrong with you? You know? And I was like, "Nah, I'm just
he's hurting."
Yeah, you know, look at him. It's a joke. I don't know. Like, you don't get it?
He's hurting.
Yeah, man.
Feel compassion.
Yeah. It's different and then you get back here and the first guy you talk to outside the bar is like, man, he's like a villain like you. You're
Oh
like,
boy,
home, you know?
love it. Okay,
Hey guys, that was us.
it was us, but a black screen apparently, and that's nice.
Yeah, you should have seen us, man. We looked great. Was I wearing a scarf in this one?
For some reason, OBS didn't know where to look, even though I fucking told it.
Because we're always reeking of insecurity. Like, can we just get on and talk? No, there has to be a bit where I'm changing scarves.
Yeah, here's us.
Yeah.
This is what we looked like for everyone that was listening to that, which apparently some people were still listening to that, so that's good.
Great, guys.
Very
All right.
nice, very nice.
Hour number 2 is upon us.
It is.
I was listening to some AM radio on my way over here.
Yeah.
That's where I get a lot of my material. It's fucking wild when you just check in every like 2 or 3 years.
Into what?
on
I'm sorry.
AM radio.
Oh, yeah, I haven't.
Or just
no.
any kind of TV or just whatever, just broadcast entertainment that you never really see or hear anymore.
Yeah.
And 5:60 AM here in Chicago. Whoever was wrapping up his show right when I turned it on is like, it's so fucking hacky. I can't believe this style of shit is still going on. But this guy's going, so, remember when you're at Thanksgiving tomorrow, if you run into a Democrat in your family, just ignore them. He goes, go take a walk, smoke a cigar, don't talk to them. They don't make any sense anyways. You know that. And fuck them, blah, blah, blah. He didn't say fuck because it's a radio, but, and then the next guy, and then this ad for Prager comes on, Dennis Prager.
Oh, yeah. Prager you, baby.
So he's a big radio guy, conservative guy. And it's so funny what they think are like the poignant, like clippable moments. It was a commercial that was a clip of him, and he goes, "The Democratic Party is nothing more than a tree falling in the woods, but no one hears it." And no, hold on.
Okay.
He goes, and no one hears it. But what about an entire forest of trees falling that no one hears? Dennis Prager. And it's like, pew, 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 pew. It's like the fucking, like,
yeah.
whatever. Yeah, that's not the right one, but yeah. Prager you, blah, 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 whatever. It's like, Jesus Christ, that's what you guys think is like your fucking highlight to clip for. Anyways, that's politics, right? That's modern politics
That's
for you.
a good signifier of where I've gone and where I was. 'Cause I used to hate that guy. And now I listen to the guy.
Yeah, but it's just a bunch of drivel.
Or I watch
Yeah.
like if he's a guest, he was a guest on. I've seen he was on like this David Pakman podcast, the Packman podcast?
Yeah.
I hate that fucking dude.
It's-
But
well, yeah, he's like a liberal guy.
super
right?
liberal.
Some
Yeah,
kind
but
of
like real
smarty pants.
Yeah, he's like a
some guy
real
you really like to
smarmy
just-
fucking pencil neck.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's like the big mouth. Ugh.
Okay, that
terrible.
guy. Yeah.
But yeah, I watch like Dennis Prager just because I know that they're gonna argue and shit. Yeah, that's all we watch now, guys. You know, that's all we watch.
The guy on the conservative station I used to really like was Michael Savage because he was nuts and he would just go off on these
yeah.
things. One time I was listening to him and he tells this long story about how he had taken his dad's car out and him and his friends went to go party and they're out and they maybe went to a school dance or whatever.
Okay.
And they had some beers and stuff and they crashed the car, but they had to get it fixed before it, and his dad was going to be out of town and and it was this whole wild story of them taking it somewhere and getting it fixed and they get it back 5 minutes before his
Yeah.
dad pulls in. It's like Ferris Bueller style and stuff. And then he
Michael Savage
tells this story for like 15 minutes. And at the end he goes, you know what? Come to think of it, I can't remember if that happened to me or a friend of mine. You know, I was like, this guy's fucking nuts. But so, yeah, that's the conservative station. I check in with them once in a while. And it just reminds you, like, this is the dumbness of fucking mainstream politics. And you turn on, there really isn't a lot of left-wing talk. But when there is, it's, what's his name? Combs, Alan Combs.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, I'm trying to think. There's
there's a couple out there. But anyways,
there
it's the
isn't,
same
though.
shit.
Well, the
It's like,
liberal talk is like CNBC.
Wait, don't
CNN,
tell me.
and stuff like that.
you know, the Republicans are so dumb that they. You're like, okay, yeah.
I know
it's the
it
same
becomes
shit.
redundant.
Yeah, and so that's why you get weird people like Donald Trump and what's his name, the guy in Argentina.
Oh, Millet.
Yeah, this is why you get outside and people go, oh my God, I can't believe this is the same. Like, has no one learned, or is it just part of the script over there too? Who knows? What level are we operating at here? But
We don't know, but-
the Babe in the Woods routine is getting tiresome. Of like, how could an outsider have garnered this level of? It's like you're clearly tone deaf.
You know why.
to what people are want and what they're sick of, what they're
Yeah.
fucking looking for. And this is if this is a legitimate thing. If it's not, just,
mean, it
if
seems
it's
to
not
be.
just part of the reptilian script. I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
I know.
whatever,
Are they
but,
just keep fucking? Are they just? Is it just confusion?
I don't know, but
Mass chaos.
if it is organic, it's definitely because people are starting to look around. And Argentina is, you know, like I said, there's a lot of parallels to here. It's another place that a lot of people flock to from Europe in hopes of getting rich.
Yeah.
Like the early Spanish settlers were convinced that it was completely full of silver. The name Argentina means something silver or whatever. I forget. Or maybe Argentina is silver in Latin or something like that. The name has to do it. But anyways, it's a place not unlike here where there was a lot of freedom. There was a huge amount of wealth built up, you know, through the mid 1800s
Yeah, they
all the way
also
into
have a
the
lot
early
of
1900s.
oil, right?
I think there used to be a saying called "rich as an Argentinian."
Maybe
Or something
an
like
Argentine.
that. Argentinian. Argentinian?
I think it's Argentine.
Argentine. Rich
Yeah.
as an Argentine. Rolls right off the tongue.
Ooh, yeah. I'm gonna start saying that. Although they were just eating each other a few years ago, so
I heard about
that's
that.
Venezuela.
Well, no,
but Argentina did it as well.
So and then all right. So then you had again, like you know, like a lot of countries in the 30s and 40s, you had giant populist movements. You know,
Yes.
and they elected that guy Perón in 46, I think.
Perón.
You know, but it's weird. There's a lot of parallels. You know, in an era where we, were having FDR and the socialization and federalization of all kinds of land,
Sure.
and blah 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 and all this shit. Whatever. The world was kind of moving that way. These big populist for the people movements and stuff, and theirs was
Allegedly.
decidedly marked by like hideous corruption, and
Yeah.
for decades and decades.
Theft of all resources for very few people, and everyone else left with nothing.
Pretty
just-
much, yeah. All the most
chaos
predatory
and-
of
yeah,
socialist
yeah.
policies to price.
which we just again saw in Venezuela,
Sure.
under the guise of socialism.
Yeah, to the point that I think in '89 they had such a bad collapse that it was when inflation a few times there has been over 100%, which it is now.
Yeah.
I think it's like 105% or something,
Yeah.
and things
Nice.
are getting more expensive every single day. And you know what happens? You're seeing it a little bit here.
Oh, yeah.
Now. Currency becomes an arms race,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all of a sudden, well, fucking, I got to charge more because this costs more. Now we're all charging more. Everyone I know is charging more for what they do,
which
You
means
have to.
everything
It's,
costs more. So then you're making more, but you're spending more of it on the same shit that it makes no fucking sense.
I've never understood since I was a kid and I found out that in like 1908,
Yeah, you could get something for a nickel.
a milk was 3 cents.
Yeah.
And I was
Well,
like,
why
why don't we
then?
just go back to that? And
Yeah.
everything, and we'll just,
Yeah.
we'll all be
What if
fucking
everything was
rich.
born on the or like based on the price of milk?
yeah,
like
in
instead of barrels of
1908.
oil.
Yeah. That was it.
Barrels of raw, they'd call it.
At the Federal Reserve. They just have like the whole place is just one sheet of paper. Just
We're
says,
milk independent.
Yeah, milk 3 cents. Like it's just a bunch of druids around it, like,
Yeah.
chanting like we must maintain the price of milk. So,
Shit.
anyways, so they had this horrific '90s collapse, and you remember this too. I did a tiny little search on this today on the old net, and I wasn't seeing anything come up. But do you remember there being stories of cannibalism?
Oh, yeah.
In Argentina in the '90s because it got so bad.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I've heard people that were there tell about it and like how quickly it fucking happened.
it supposedly happened within a
within
couple
a week.
of weeks.
Yeah,
or
within a
something.
week.
Okay.
People
yeah,
were
yeah.
eating each other.
Yeah.
Because when you have everyone, I mean, I don't understand why people don't think that's what's going to happen here. This is what I've heard is that all Iran is planning on doing is just EMP shit here, knock out our fucking grid, and then watch the chaos ensue. You don't need a war anymore. If you knocked out the grid right now in this country, nobody would be able to literally do anything. You couldn't eat, you couldn't fucking work, you couldn't, you know what I mean? Everyone will be so fucking lost for, I want, you would have no phones.
Well, but
Because
yeah.
those are satellites, so an EMP wouldn't get those. So it would work until your phone died, and then you couldn't recharge it. But I mean,
you could still use a tin can on a string.
yes,
And as long as you didn't just get that far out of range, you know what I mean?
yeah. And for
That's
like
how
longer calls, you'd have it on a fishing rod, and you're just like, zzz, you know what I mean?
Yeah. As you take
Yo,
out your
what's up,
fish rod.
dude?
Hold
Yeah.
on, I gotta call long distance.
Hold on, I
Yeah.
gotta call Vinny.
Right. I mean that works up to a certain extent until you're within sight or earshot of anyone.
Yeah,
Then you're fucking.
but
you're
I guess
sunk.
you would have like diesel generators, that type of shit. But you can't pump fluid. But the point is if that happened here, if suddenly we were like, unable to, within a week, people are going to be, I mean, within a few days, I think I've heard this, that countries that happens to, within a few days, it's like gangland rule. You know
Of
what I mean?
course.
And then that's when because there's no more food. Immediately people hoard it. Now the people that didn't get to hoard it are literally just starving everyone.
I mean,
And so now you're eating each other. It's a fucking
we're walking around.
dire prediction.
Dude, we're walking around on the verge of that. Like,
Yeah.
look how crazy like mob kind of mindset and whatever is, what just happened a few years ago.
Yeah.
Do you think 90% of those people that were like rioting and out doing this shit,
Burning buildings
do you
and
think
smashing
they're
windows?
really that wild?
No.
We're that wild.
Yeah,
We've done
and we didn't
crazy
do it.
shit like that by ourselves.
Yeah.
For no reason.
I was just
and
shooting an arrow
just
into the
whatever.
studio
Yeah.
the other day.
Like, but here's the thing: they get caught up in it, and it's like the average person who is really not that fucking crazy and not that wild and not that violent.
No,
whatever.
when you're
it
caught in that
happens,
mob.
like, yeah, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a very real possibility that we could descend into cannibalistic madness at any moment.
Yeah, that's a book.
You heard
by,
it here on Radioville.
That's a book by Douglas Murray. Is The Madness of Mobs, right?
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, he wrote so many; it's hard to recall.
Anyways.
Yeah. Hey,
point
Tom,
being. Yeah.
run that shit back for me.
Point being, if this is on the table, we can't have a weak leader, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's why people were drawn to Trump. Some of them.
Sure.
Because he exuded
It's just something
confidence.
else. Yeah.
But Biden, let's just be honest, no one respects us. Except maybe the...
The ultra left-wing liars, losers, creeps, perverts, and freaks.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think they're hibernating. I haven't seen them in a while.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, right.
I'm getting worried about my game sales.
So you saw the latest poll that I forget what who I think it was even a Fox News poll or something. They're like, we've just gotten a poll that Trump is going to beat Biden by 2%. It's our first poll indicating that. It's like, where are you getting this from?
Oh, no,
Like,
now I think he's beating him by like 26
this
points
is what I'm
or
saying.
something like that.
I mean, it's not even a contest. Is
No,
what I'm saying.
it's not.
It's not close.
But we need somebody. Now, unfortunately, our great leader is tied up in court. with 17 charges, felonies, or whatever the fuck he's got.
He'll get out of it.
But Argentina has no such problems
Right.
because they just got this dude. Now, this guy is, what's his name again?
Javier
Milei.
Milei?
Yeah, Javier Milei, the new president-elect of Argentina. Now,
Yeah,
here's...
he's been a TV pundit. He's a kind of a
Yeah, he's an
celebrity.
author.
some kind of
He's an
sex
economist
guru or something.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. Look at his fucking hair.
Yeah.
But let's take a quick look at. So this is a video of him going over some of his plans for his tenure. Let's take a look.
y Deporte, afuera. Ministerio de Cultura,
Ministry of
afuera.
Culture out.
Ministerio de Ambiente
Ministry
y
of the
Desarrollo
Environment and
Sostenible,
Sustainable Development
afuera.
out.
Ministerio de las Mujeres y Género y Diversidad, afuera. Ministerio de Obras Públicas, afuera. Aunque te resistas. Ministerio de Ciencia y Tecnología e Innovación.
Ministry of Science, Technology?
Yeah.
No good, huh? Ministry of Labor?
Afuera.
Yeah.
Ministerio de Educación.
Well, so
Afuera.
Indoctrination, he says.
Afuera. Ministerio de Salud, afuera.
Yeah.
Ministry of Health, Ministry of Social Development. And a lot of people think stuff like this is nuts, but I mean, really, this is what I've always said and why I liked Ron Paul so much. And
This is
stuff
what
like that.
many
It's like,
people like.
Yeah, this stuff can all run. But it's not that he doesn't want people to be healthy. It's not that he doesn't want them to be
No.
educated. It's not. People mistake this. This stuff can all run better if the government just gets out of the fucking way of it.
Yes.
And stops.
That is what it is.
Yeah, that's really. So he's basically it's an old school libertarian kind of view.
Yeah.
And people have described him as, you know, your
But they keep-
classic like socially liberal, fiscally conservative libertarian.
Every
right?
headline I've seen is far right libertarian wins.
Oh,
populist.
everybody's
Everyone of them,
far
far
right, yeah,
I
I
swear to
mean-
God, everyone. Now maybe he is. I mean, he's not a. Doesn't seem to be a fan of the left, as we're going to see in this next little snip of an interview.
Well, who the fuck is anymore? I mean, even
It's
like,
really weird. It's becoming weird.
Even 90% of my like friends that hung on for a long
Yeah,
time,
they're
and
like,
were,
I get it.
voted for Hillary and blah
Yeah.
blah blah. At this point, are full on just like, you know what, this whole thing is fucked.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
100%.
Who?
No,
yeah,
it's-
nobody gives a shit anymore.
No, it's funny. The holdouts are like just tripling down. It's insane. It's crazy.
What's gonna happen? They can't run Biden again, right?
Fuck. I mean,
It would be.
I don't think. I
it
think
would
even
be
the
absurd,
Democrats. I
right?
think like 60% of Democrats in Washington are like, he's not a feasible option anymore.
They have to have a.
Say
thing.
he can't fucking speak now. He
Yeah.
like literally can't.
It has gotten a
It's
lot
gotten
worse,
to the.
huh?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's just nightmare.
Yeah, him and Fetterman are going to be playing golf together.
They're
going to
think they are.
Yeah, right.
They're
They're going to be
sitting in a chair looking at a wall. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
just
gonna be nice.
hitting a paperclip with the leg
Yeah.
of their walker.
White jacket and white. No, and then you don't. And then so what would happen is Kamala would come up and run because she's in the White House. So that would be, and nobody wants that. She's got a fucking worse rating than him the whole time.
You know, my lifetime of administrations, man, when you look back, is so comically evil and crazy looking. Like, who'd ever looked at Kamala Harris and didn't see like a demonic entity from somewhere
Oh, yeah, no.
deep, dark place
Immediately I
in the
did.
inner earth? You know,
See, what
like,
I saw was a woman of color.
that's why you can't call her a demon because,
Yeah.
I mean, I have no problem with it. She's crazy looking. I don't understand.
She's crazy sounding. She's crazy acting.
Dude,
she's
every
crazy
bit,
everything.
every bit as much as Dick Cheney was,
Yeah, no, 100%.
or some of these other people, whoever, it's
Mm-hmm.
like this is an evil guy. You can just see right away. This is a fucking.
What if she would have shot one of her friends on a hunt,
I mean,
like Cheney did?
yeah, but
That's
hers,
what she should have done. Really fucking cemented in there.
hers would have been totally on. She would have been hunting her friend.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the difference.
I could
She's-
actually see her accidentally shrieking somebody's face skin off.
Cheney's the type of evil where he just like he goes like finger slipped.
whoops a daisy.
Yeah, she
Whatever. Pick your cheek up.
she literally takes you out because you wore the same dress as her
Yeah,
somewhere.
Sam Brinton.
And yeah, right. She takes Sam Brinton out to the woods and just sets him loose and fucking hunts him. Like,
Hey Sam,
yeah.
Come here.
Actually, that is the absurdity of our political system. It's probably
yeah.
going that way. At
Oh,
some
God.
point, they're hunting Sam Brinton. That's all we can hope for. That's the best possible result. Anyways, we're getting
And he
off topic
refuses
here.
to take his stilettos off, so he's really slow at getting away.
He can't. We're nailing them to his feet. Oh, God. Like a fucking suitcase stealing stigmata. Fucking bastard mustache and lipstick son of a bitch.
Yeah,
Fuck
yeah.
you.
Shave your mustache if you're gonna have lipstick on.
So listen, let's talk Argentina, right?
So here's another little clip of said presidente being okay. This is I don't know who was interviewing him here, but that's because I don't watch Argentinian TV that much.
Yeah. It's
So-
hard to keep up. We try.
Yeah, we do watch a lot of.
We try to catch most of the primetime programming from each country out from around the world every week, but it can be a little daunting.
It's daunting.
Yeah.
You know, you got to make time.
Yeah, we have to. I have to have time to read the encyclopedia also every week, the entire Encyclopedia Britannica from front to back. Go ahead.
So now it looks like he's starting off with "You can't give shit leftards an inch."
Okay.
Al zurdo de mierda no le podés dar ni un
Pero ¿me
milímetro.
podés definir zurdo de mierda?
Can you
que no-
define shit leftist?
Todos los que,
Entiendo.
digamos, los colectivistas.
Okay, and I do like what he says here. All collectivists, all kinds of collectivists.
Yeah, let's
los que
keep it
ponen,
simple.
digamos, o sea, esa
Yeah.
idea. A ver,
¿Por qué le pones de mierda, digamos?
Porque
Why do you
son
call
una
them shit?
mierda.
Because they are shit.
O sea,
Vos
sí,
mezclás-
No,
pero-
but when you extrapolate modern society and just the way people are and the way things go, you are either a collectivist or you value sovereignty and individual
Yeah.
sovereignty.
No, it is true.
It
That's a
kind of
pretty
is
good
a black or
dichotomy.
white thing. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, with
I
the
under- yeah, I
possible
agree.
exception of voluntary collectivism, but I assume he means coerced and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So-
Communist. What he means is communist.
Like you can't begrudge anyone for any sort of like voluntary collectivist thing
No,
they want
do
to
your
do.
thing.
Hey, let's have a farming co-op. Let's do whatever. Great.
They
You know,
always break
but
down into a cult, though, really. But yeah.
That's fine. You don't have to. I don't want to be a part of it.
No.
I'll come.
But then you find out that he's banging everyone's kids and he's got 700 fucking AKs in his bedroom. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That always happens.
And there's got to be some.
And he's
negative-
like
there's
banging
probably-
all the wives and the fucking young daughters and shit. And he's like telling them
Yeah,
that
and you
he's
see
going
it-
to go
you
to
s-
God. And they're like, this was just a farming co-op. What are you talking about, Jim?
You see him doing all that stuff, and you just know that he's probably also doing something negative too. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm
And you're
saying.
like,
He's just- there's
this
a
guy can't
leaning.
be all
Yeah,
this cool
this-
all the time. Like he probably, you know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
he's probably sucks at pool or something, you know. So yeah, they all have
cheats at Monopoly.
yeah, they all have a flaw.
It's got to. But yeah, your point being, and my point being, is I do like I don't even think I've, even in my lefty days, was a fan of collectivism. It just never
because it used to
agreed
be
with
the
me.
party of individuality and
Yeah.
free speech.
Yeah,
when we were
yeah.
young.
Yes.
You know, the good left, the kind left.
Yeah, the free left.
Sure.
That was the thing, is they were like advocating for more personal sovereignty.
Bill Clinton was
all the
playing
time.
the saxophone.
Yeah.
He was like, we didn't kill nobody and we're not racist. We're like, hell yeah, you wore sunglasses.
Hey, his voice is pretty funny.
Yeah, right.
It's like,
yeah.
we can all make fun of him. And it's a good president.
And they were fun.
That's a good leftist.
And we were going places.
Yeah. And he was heading up the network at
Yeah.
the time, but whatever. All right, let's see what this gentleman is saying.
Eso es descalificar, pero no, pero
Pero
You
si
think
pensás
this is
distinto,
different?
te van a aniquilar. Ese es el punto.
They will kill you.
Si
This is
vos
the
al
point.
zurdo
You
no
can't
le
give
podés
shit
dar un
leftists an inch.
milímetro, porque le das un
If you give them an
milímetro,
inch,
toma
they will
para
use it to
destrozarte.
destroy you.
Es decir, usa, digamos, o sea,
You
vos
can't
no podés
negotiate with
negociar con el
leftards.
zurdo. No
Is he
se
really saying
negocia.
this?
No
You
se
don't
negocia
negotiate
con
with
esa mierda,
trash
no se
because they will
negocia porque
end
te van a
you.
robar puesto. Si tienen un
If the left have a
golpeador
guy
que
that beats his
caga trompadas a la
wife
mujer,
off,
digamos, si es de
it's
ellos,
one of them.
¿entendés? Se pone
If it's one of
el
them, he
pañuelito
puts on
verde
the
y
green
grita todo el tiempo
scarf
contra
all the
el
time.
neoliberalismo.
And he yells about, what is he talking about?
Neoliberalism.
Si de repente hay
If suddenly there's a journalist that molests another
alguien que
journalist,
acosó a un periodista que acosa a otra periodista, lo oculta.
they hide it. All right, he's just talking about political favoritism, right? We get
When
it.
it's one of them, they hide it. They hide it. All those aberrations. Now, if you're on the other side, Yeah, so he's just saying how he's basically explaining an extreme form of cancer culture.
He does look a little Hitler
Oh,
in
yeah.
the eyes, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's fucking heated, man. He's got the fire of fucking liberation in his belly.
He does. I'm trying to get a good freeze frame.
Like we were talking
There
about,
you go.
this is a country that's had political unrest, economic unrest, like I said, for
Their
fucking
people are
80 years.
fucking
you know,
desperate.
Yeah. To the point that, at this point, right, you have, it is going the way of Venezuela. I think Venezuela and Lebanon are the only two countries in the world that have worse inflation right now. So you're getting, you're getting to the point that, it's desperation. And of course, people are like...
you react to this.
And
this is why Trump won here.
Yeah, and it's an area of the world with a history of populist movements that don't go well.
That's a
But
good
you
point.
gotta hope... You gotta get, you gotta...
I mean, this guy's got that fucking weird, like, English comic hairdo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's got the fucking Hitler eyes.
Yeah,
He's got the tongue of a fucking 15-year-old Argentine. He's just like, that fucking libtard shit fucking tards.
What's his Wikipedia? What do we know about him? Just the kind of the basics, because I know he's like a ex-TV pundit.
Yes.
And is openly talked about his history as, I've heard it referred to as a sex guru.
Ooh.
And things like that. But yeah, a lot of parallels between Argentina and here. Like I said, it's a land of strike it rich. It's a lot of Europeans and other people came there. You had the gauchos that were there for a long time down there. That were basically they formed into like a political movement of sorts and kind of a sector of society that could go between like the Patagonia tribes and the
Gauchos.
Yeah. They could interact with
Spaniard
everybody.
clan,
They were
huh?
kind of like the French fur traders of the American Midwest in the 1700s or
Yeah.
something like that.
That sounds
They were
good.
like the go-betweens for everybody, and actually kind of like formed into a political class of their own, looking out for their own interests, and some of them gained immense wealth in the 1800s. Anyways,
Sure they did.
like I'm saying,
No, there was a ton
there's
of
lot
wealth there. Yeah,
right.
yeah,
But
yeah.
there's a lot of the similar stories here, and then
They just were easier to, I think, somehow they were, I think what it is, and this is going to be very unpopular with my more liberal friends, progressives, but it does seem like even though I hated the entirety of like American politics when I was younger, and I really did believe that we were like the root of all sorts, every problem on, you know what I mean? There is this weird narrative that is sold to you as a child, as like a youngster.
it's complicated.
But it does seem like we had more sort of morally straight and narrow leaders here. Even though they were all pieces of shit, they didn't overtly do, like the whole of South America, for the most part, was just constantly ravaged by their own leaders over and over and over. And it's just like, they just like, you know what I mean? Those are places where they're just firing squad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oops, you fucking misstep.
Well, I mean,
Boom,
but this
fuck
is-
off. And
this
we
is-
never did that here.
This is what scares you. Like, even though if we agree with a lot of this guy's rhetoric, what scares you about a populist movement like this is like, Pinochet in Chile rose to power with a similar. I mean, it's what they all do. It's like, hey, let's put us first. Let's stop with the fucking bullshit. Let's this and this. Pretty soon they're fucking throwing people out of helicopters and stuff, which I know we all like to joke about and shit, but you really don't probably want things going that way.
No. Yeah, I always
mean,
think like, okay, fine. If it's you and me and you know what I mean, we got to fucking get a clan of fucking ruffians together and, fucking
throw a guy out of a helicopter.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I don't want my mom,
But I would just do it
sisters
with
and
the-
nieces having to live in that world.
You're
That's
right.
what I always think of. I'm like, okay, I can survive a hellscape. You know what I mean? I'm pretty like fucking brain numb.
Yeah.
So I could just meld in. Within a week, I'm like, yeah, wait, where am I getting that cannibal steak?
I would throw a guy out of a helicopter, but the helicopter would still be on the ground.
Yes.
But just to make a point, he'd sprain his ankle or something.
Yeah.
And I'd be
Hey,
like,
that's
"Now,
no joke."
Think about that next time and go tell your friends.
That's right.
By the way, while you're healing up, and look, I can't let you walk off like that. I'm going to get you a doctor to look at this.
Jump on.
I'd be a really bad dictator, dude. I'd be like, we need to make a point. Like, all right, you know what?
I don't know whether I would be or not.
Here's what we're going to do. take away their screen doors.
Yeah.
Be like,
Yeah, you'd be-
sir.
You'd be just doing silly shit to them.
Yeah,
Like annoying them.
I would never be the guy that's like, hey, let's chop them all in half.
I think I might be
You
that
know,
guy
I don't know.
if I had that power. And I hate to say it, but
That's how you get Argentina, because you had, like I said, the whole history of Argentina the entire time has just been clashing factions, really. You know what I mean? And like I said, and the populist movements in that area of the world tend to end up with total exploitation. And that's been their story over and over. So
I wonder
don't know,
why
we'll
that
see.
is, though. Because what it always seems to be is some militant group just has a coup or like a hostile takeover of the government, and now
Oh,
it's a
well,
dictator. You know what I mean? But
speaking of which,
but why
don't-
doesn't that ever happen here? Or has it? January 6th? Anyone?
Yeah, right. Our democracy will never be the same.
Scariest day in American history. Go on.
But no, speaking of that, there was, I think, in like 81 or something, a U.S. and CIA-backed coup, a military coup in Argentina.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's happened over and over. I forgot about that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that also happened, which is a thing they've done.
Yeah, we thoroughly stacked the deck for
And then
ourselves
that-
down in South America
Well,
during
but
the
it's,
80s.
it's another time, too, that like I think the U.S.-backed military coup in Argentina ends up as another ruthless regime. You know, it happened
Yeah.
over and over and after.
Well, that's what we did.
That's the thing, like you were talking about, like how we're the roof evil all over the world.
Yeah,
sometimes,
that's
you
what
know?
it is they
Yeah.
keep their people happy around them so that we don't storm the gates and eat them.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, they're just ruthless everywhere else. And we don't really see it, so we hear murmurings and rumors. Yeah. But
and
we're
it-
like, I get it. We're not perfect, but blah, blah, blah. But meanwhile, everyone else's real tragic situation is pretty much directly tied to our foreign policy
And for-
at most points in
For
history.
decades and decades, the only people that knew that would be like one of your dad's friends that would
Yeah.
just be like rambling for 2 hours.
Yeah, you're
about-
like, Jesus Christ, tell Tony Motto to shut the fuck up.
like,
you
telling
know?
you about the Bay of Pigs and stuff. Or
Yeah.
you're like 10, you're like, dude, I don't know what the hell this is. Like,
I like pigs.
But that was what it took. You had to have been that guy that read all that stuff. And now, it's still, even as easy as it is to find out now, I don't think most people really know
I don't.
to the level of intervention that we've taken part in clandestinely around the,
the
world. Right?
assassinations and yeah, for sure.
Hey, you know what? Here's a weird thing. What
do you got?
I'm going to check in the comments for once.
Okay.
So let's see. Connor Drexler weighing in a bunch on this, which is so funny. That's the name of a kid I went to grade school with, but it's not him. I don't know who it is, but lots of wealthy libertarians looking around South America to get special economic zone status, but they're way into sovereign country status. By their way. Come on, what is that? Athabasca is a Canadian region, so Inuit language makes sense. That's going back to the Native American discussion.
Yep.
Let's see. Argentina's about to get ugly for a bit with those 10,000s of laid off government employees taking to the streets. That's another thing. About a third of their workforce is employed by
government.
the government,
Yeah.
which is
That's bureaucracy.
Dude, like-
that's bloat. That's exactly what people are criticizing this government for.
And well, again, some parallels. Like I think I remember reading shit. It has to be almost 10 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
That the government was in like the top 10 employers
yeah.
in the country, which is like, you don't have to. I have a terrible understanding of economics on the whole. You don't really have to be that fucking insightful in economics to understand why that wouldn't be sustainable.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
well,
like,
I always take it to the micro. Anytime I don't understand something at scale, I go, okay.
I go to Micro Center and bother one of the
No,
cashiers.
I'm like, what?
You
Yeah,
look smart.
hey, yeah, explain this to me.
Yeah.
No, I'm like, okay, take a town. If you have a town of 50,000 people and, you know what I mean, the fourth largest employer of that town is the town government,
Yeah.
then you have
exactly.
like, you know what I mean? How many? That's
Well, take it even further. You have 10 people.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
You don't need that many people. So it's never going to be at the micro. It's just that when you get up there into that abstract space of federal government, there's so many, nobody even understands what $1 trillion is or the fuck, you know what I'm saying? These budgets don't make sense to a normal brain or anyone's brain unless you're like a mathematician and can like sort of, you know, understand the abstract of mathematics.
Sure.
Because nobody knows the difference between $1 billion and $5 billion and, you know, $150 billion and $1 trillion. They're just made up at one point. So that it's so much easier for them to just keep justifying increased taxes and, you know what I mean, allocation to this and their friend's going to head up this department and now they get this much money. That's all it is. It's just fucking bloat.
Well, and so much of it lives to justify itself.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
literally like this guy was saying, afuera.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No, like Ron Paul said, they went back in the day. Everyone I knew was like, he's crazy. He wants to get rid of the Department of Education.
Yeah, that's the big one I heard back
Yeah,
then
he
too,
wants
actually.
to get rid of state aggregated and mandatory education. He didn't say stop learning.
Yeah, he didn't
he's
say
a
no
fucking,
schools.
He's a doctor.
Yeah,
It's like,
he didn't
what-
say no schools.
Yeah.
He said this fucking dude. I still hear this argument. We need to fund the Department of Education way more. They cut funding to it. Hey, fuck faces, we are spending orders of magnitude more than we ever fucking have on education in this country, and we have nobody in any school that's like above the 50th percentile.
We
Like,
all graduated with people that couldn't even fucking read.
dude, it's like 50 times
I mean,
worse now too.
yeah.
It's like literally, I think, God, I could pull up the stats. I can't remember now, but I had the stats in my head for a while. I know Baltimore is like they're like 5% of their high school graduating class reads or does math at grade level and shit. It's like tiny. It's insane.
You know what's crazy?
What?
I was smart in school. Right now, if you told me to set up a long division problem, no chance. Tried to do it not long ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Hold on. It
You know what?
goes-
Long division always pissed me off.
Yeah, I could do it
hated
faster in my head.
I'm like, no,
would
I
still
want
take a while.
Like, I want a remainder.
Yeah.
Just let me get a remainder.
Yeah. Actually, let me just live the remainder of my life without doing long
Without this
division.
bullshit.
Yeah.
But remember when you got rid of remainders? It
Not
was like,
really, no.
Do you remember? Okay, so if you did like a division problem and then it didn't divide evenly into that, then it was like 70 remainder 3 or something like that because the actual, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you could just do that, and then eventually they were like, all right, now we're gonna learn how to actually figure out the fraction. There's no remainder now. It's like a 70 point blah, and I'm just like, nope, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, dude, I refuse.
I did. I still do.
I don't even care if I get the answer right because you know what? No one's grading me anymore. I'll sit there in my house and do math problems wrong for hours
Yeah, he
just
does.
because I can.
Yeah.
Just-
It's actually very
I have
alarming.
Dude,
it's a little scary, guys.
It's like a mixture of the Son of Sam and Goodwill Hunting at my house. It's just all kinds of nonsense
Rain Man.
equations. Like,
But
yeah.
the way Rain Man really would have been.
It's like people come in and they think it's a beautiful mind type of thing, and they start
Yeah.
looking at it.
Like,
They're
wait,
like,
this is all
"Oh."
wrong.
Yeah. it's
Why are you
just-
doing this? You're like, because I can.
Yeah. 4 minus X is Baglark? No.
What's this symbol?
So, okay, we have a good luck to Argentina in the chat.
Yeah, good luck.
We have
Argentina. Really, though.
Yeah, whatever. Silver abbreviation is AG, which is short for Argentina.
I don't believe that is. But
The kids in Argentina say he's different. He may ruin us worse, but he's not the same shit that has gotten us here. And what was the other comment about it may get worse before it gets better? I noticed that in a lot of the media's coverage of this guy.
Yeah.
Was like, can the people trust such a drastic change when, because the
Yeah.
government, and I saw this appeal in a bunch of the coverage I saw, and it's mostly British coverage of it.
Ew.
Where they're like, now, the government, it's like the government basically is appealing to the public, like, wait,
Are you sure?
We'll really do it well this time.
Yeah.
So I swear to God, this thing that you've been trying and failing for fucking 80 years and that we've just been exploiting you and fucking using you and lying to you for the entire time. No. Just trust us. This time we really have a fucking bland.
well, all right, we'll do it now.
Yeah,
it's like
but you got
we were
us.
we were fucking around.
Yeah,
sorry,
right,
sorry, sir. We'll
Wait,
do it
you
perfect
guys
now. We
took
could.
that seriously?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Like, we
You
were
guys-
just
dude,
seeing.
You guys.
What if that was it?
Yeah.
Dude, we were just seeing.
We're just seeing what you would do. So anyways, let's get on to this.
What do we got?
By the way,
Are we
if
talking about liberty?
If we want to take any calls, you got to put your password into this. Do you want me to pass you this laptop? Little fucking maneuver going on, guys. Should I do it?
No, hold on. I'll do it.
Here we go.
Let me just, while I do that, let's give everyone a little taste of freedom, though, shall we?
Yeah, guys, because we're moving on to a true patriot.
We are. True patriot, the most liberty-laden man this side of the Pecos River.
Yeah.
Entering the password.
All hail the bird of liberty in the chat. I want to see hailing in the chat, everyone. This, what did you do here?
I didn't do anything. You didn't have me in the right field.
Oh, side note.
Idiot.
Hold on. There we go.
My God.
Well, it was sitting there for a very long time. And, guys, that is the bird of liberty. And when that happens, you hail him in the chat.
It is,
And,
but for now, I think we're going to have a few fall leaves for the
Okay.
season.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I
This
can match
is,
that.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay, yeah.
There we go. Guys, let's just take a break here for 1 second for Tom to put his password in
I don't even trust my friend.
for the phones. Yeah. Here we go. Get rid of the beat. Here we go. He's typing the first letter, now the second, the third, the fourth, there goes the fifth, and the sixth. Coming around the bend, it's the seventh, it's the eighth, it's the ninth, it's the 10th. I shouldn't tell them the exact length of the password because that'll give it away. Bosco. But no, yours is a sweet tooth.
Bosco 527.
Guys, this is a nice harvest celebration, and if you want to join
It is.
the show, the number's been scrolling at the top this
Yeah.
entire time.
It
Feel
has.
free to call in about anything we've talked about tonight. Don't just call in and say words related to something we talked about, like happened last week.
Yeah.
You remember
Please.
that?
Oh, yeah. I always remember that.
Yeah, let's have a point for calling. We like to hear from you guys.
We love it.
In fact, we would wish it would happen more.
Yeah, no,
from a
we,
more
uh,
diverse bank of people.
Yes. Yes.
So there you go. Phone lines are officially open, and here's what we got. Alex Jones made a video game, correct?
He sure did.
I believe it's called Alex Jones. Let's just pull it up.
Yeah.
It's, and of course he did, right? I mean, why not? The guy's been pretty much firing anything at the wall for about 25 years. I mean, you got to hand it to him. He's always kind of trying to do something new with his content and his media. And, you know, I don't know how it's working out with the Sandy Hook settlements.
Yeah, I
because
mean, he was fined $1 billion, so I
It was a
get
rough-
that
yeah.
he's, it's a rough one. And so I
Yeah.
get why he's trying to raise more funds to, you know,
Yeah, but-
finance the lavish lifestyle that he's enjoyed for the last 20 years by ranting about conspiracies.
Yeah, this is we love Alex Jones.
Yes.
I mean, I used to listen to Alex Jones like 2 to 3 times a day. I would listen to each show pretty much all day while I was fucking.
Now, I was never that into him, but when I would hear him, I fucking loved what he was saying. I was always just like intrigued. But his whole character, it was all good. And then once YouTube started, and it's like the early inception when he was doing a lot of that InfoWars man on the street shit. He was pissing a lot of people off with those little fucking lackeys that he had. That was fun.
Right.
I know you didn't like Schroyer.
Owen Schroyer. I
Owen Schroys.
tried to listen to InfoWars today.
Did you?
And yeah, I put it on, and first of all, that show has gone fucking wacky, dude.
Oh, really?
It's nutty now.
Like
The
that?
first-
Like, should I get back into it?
Dude, I put it on, and I swear to God, for like 4 minutes, it was like a soundbite collage of just like clips from the show, like clips of other videos, and just like, you know what I mean, where it like loosely kind of tied together and made sense. Movie clips, everything. It was like they always would do
Like
those.
video, or you were listening?
I was listening to it.
Okay.
I'm sure there was video going
Okay.
along with it, but you know, they would always do those, like just like cut together. It's
Yeah.
a classic radio
Yeah,
thing.
I know what
whatever.
you're talking about.
But he would always do wacky ones. But this one that I heard today was like 4 minutes long. That's when I first, and then fucking Owen Schroyer is filling in. I'm like, this fucking sucks.
Yeah, bye.
Yeah, so I didn't listen for long. But
What was the girl's name? Oh, fucking the blonde. Shit.
I don't know.
I just saw her with Stefan Molyneux. They were like being interviewed over in Australia or Britain. And dude, we'll have to watch that at a different time. It was fucking funny. The interviewer was just, oh my God. He looked like a fucking rubber Muppet. It was hilarious. And these guys were just like, what are you, like, he was making these the weakest like straw man arguments, but not in a debate, in an interview, and they just were like looking at each other like, what?
Well, yeah, that's what they do. Yeah.
Lauren Southern. That's
Okay.
it. Lauren Southern. Anywho, let's take a look at the King of Liberty himself, Alex Jones. His new video game, folks. Let's take a look at this.
First came Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, and Super Mario Brothers. And now the ultimate retro
By the way,
nostalgia throwback.
I like that if you back that up and look at that Super Mario Brothers, I like that it was just some weird like
Not even
knockoff
yeah. I think
Mario.
it was Donkey Kong.
No. Watch. Hold on.
First came Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, and Super Mario Brothers.
What is that?
Now
Oh, yeah.
the retro nostalgia throwback. I present to the world Alex Jones's New World Order Wars. They're turning the friggin' frogs gay. I'll eat your ass.
I'll eat your ass.
Because
So-
that came. Yeah. Go ahead.
It's a weird time that we're at because back when I would listen to Alex Jones years ago, everything was super fucking serious. And remember, I used to criticize them because it was like, hey, this is the alternative media. We're not going to do what, a lot of people were looking for an escape from NBC and all these stations that we had known our whole lives, the guys that would wear the suits and be all proper and stuff. And then InfoWars used to be like that.
Yeah.
Where they would all be dressed up and it's like, let's not use profanity and let's
yeah.
make sure we're proud. This is a family show and we're Christian and this is
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
I remember.
And it's like now to go from that to the point where it's like the gonzo level of his self-awareness of how fucking goofy some of this stuff shit is,
Yeah.
is hilarious to watch, and how that he's embraced the fraud, like, because
Where does the "I'll eat your ass" come from? That was a episode of Rogan, I think.
it could be. I
He was
I
like
can't
having a
remember,
rant, and he was just like, "I'll eat your ass." And it
He's
was
a
just like because he
dude,
was just saying things.
he's
It's just
a
stream of
meme a minute,
consciousness.
dude. Yeah, I mean,
and he
so-
said it. Where was it? Maybe it wasn't a Rogan show. But anyways, the fucking game though. Okay, so let's see.
But to
we
see,
have a boss here.
to see the change in his fucking approach to, because at one time he would have just been like, I didn't say the frogs are gay.
yeah.
What I said, and he would just be. But at this point, like, the world has gotten so weird and fucking
Yeah, he's just
goofy that
leaned
it's
into it.
just it's just how it is. Yeah, and he's eating.
I love it.
He's eating our ass, and he's fucking. He's after the New World Order and going kind of crazy. What is that? Somebody's here.
Somebody's here.
Let him get us. Who cares?
All right, let's
Gotta
keep
happen
going with
sometimes.
this. Yeah, really. Fuck it. All right, let's see. I think there's a boss here.
Dumb. Let's free the Patriots and defeat the globalist tech geeks.
Obviously, Zuckerberg. Oh, dude. Come on, baby. Obviously, a little Zuckerberg, and then that last one was who?
This game looks really easy, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
The friggin' frogs gay. I'll eat your ass. You Nazi scum.
So
Okay, so that's George Soros.
yeah, it's like a flash game that they threw together, and
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Now,
So-
the price of it to buy it at his website, I believe, is $17.76.
$17.76. And you would think, I mean, there's a lot of games out there that's actually not really cheap for a game anymore. You know what I mean? A lot of games are $10, $15. Games that people will play for thousands of hours online against other players. Giant
Are free.
servers are
That's
free.
what we play.
Or games that might last you, a few weeks, 100, 200 hours of gameplay to go
Yeah, for
through
like
it or
$60.
something. $60. Yeah,
So, like,
but-
$20 is not that. That,
but he
'cause this is
charges
probably super easy.
$17.76,
And I
then
like
we,
it.
We look at the full playthroughs. The full playthroughs of the game,
Yeah.
are like 35 minutes.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what it takes to beat
Front
the
to
entire
back.
game. I mean, this isn't
Yeah.
even Nintendo level. You know what I mean?
No, it isn't.
This is what I don't
The
like about
controls were pretty bad. I watched a guy play through the entire game the other night, and yeah, the controls were pretty fucking bad.
And part of me wants to like it just because it's hard to believe that this is the way all of this unfolded. Like, you couldn't have told me this 15 years ago, 10 years ago, that this would get this goofy. You know what I mean? Like,
Nazi dragon.
that, yeah, okay. So, and also, here's the thing.
What?
Every time the InfoWars people and Alex Jones try to be funny, and you'll see it more, we're going to watch more of this video because
Oh,
you'll
yeah.
see more of this. Every time they try to be funny, they have this thing of like, okay, well, just the more times we say that they're a devil and a new world order,
Yeah.
it's in a funny voice, that's funny. It's
Yeah.
really not. It just becomes very tiresome.
It
And
was
there's a-
at one point.
There's a part of
This
me
is a
that
long
wants
time
to like
ago.
it. Yeah, because
Yeah.
you had never seen it before or whatever.
Yes.
There's a part of me that wants to like it, but kind of just goes like, all right,
Yeah, something new though. Like expand.
You're taking advantage of people because you're obviously this isn't a game that you thought like
everyone's gonna love this game.
Let's make a great game. No, you just want us to buy it because it's Alex Jones and it costs $17.76, and you threw in a bunch of cheap sound
and
bites.
you'll make $10 million.
Yeah, I don't know. I doubt it's gonna do that well. I mean, I don't know. Who's buying this? If we didn't buy it, I mean,
that's a good point.
You know what I mean? Because I thought about it. And so if it was like $4, I probably would have, and we would be playing it right now on the game, but on the show, yeah. But no. So it's just you're supposed to buy it just because it's Alex Jones, and that's what I don't like about it. But let's see more of the.
Yeah, let's see that. I'm just checking who the intruder was.
Let's free the Patriots and defeat the globalist tech geeks.
We are going to defeat the globalists very bigly.
This game is
Jesus
mostly
Christ,
peaceful.
look at him.
Hold on, I like these guys. These guys are my favorite.
The globalists very bigly.
This game is mostly peaceful.
These guys, the fucking green dudes with the giant syringes, the vaccine monsters.
That's what I mean, it is kind of fun. Maybe I will get it, actually. I don't know. It's hard to say.
I mean, really, the whole gist of it is you start off with this pistol, you get that M, you get a machine gun, it runs out after a while, you shoot everything that you can possibly shoot.
I'm going to lower the world's population.
That was Bill Gates.
I'm
Yeah.
taking you down, rapist.
Oh, look.
Not have sexual relations with that saxophone. I'm going to lower the
Listen, he goes, I'm taking you down, rapist.
Wait, this is pretty good. Hold on.
Oh, big deal. I'm taking you down, rapist. I did not have sexual relations with that saxophone. Download it now at AlexJonesGame.com. Because as we all know,
what's he doing?
anything badass gets censored.
Jesus Christ, man. Hold on.
This important meeting of the Davos Global Elite, we have told you they will eat the bugs, they will own nothings, and they will like it. We have worked around the clock to silence Herr Jones and anyone else that challenges our eat the bugs narrative. Of course it will be easy to silence Jones. We will have victory. Mein Führer. He never gives up, mein Führer.
Actually, he has best-selling books now. But that's not the problem, so now he has a new video game called New World Order Wars. Our experts believe it will explode and have a giant effect in the popular culture.
This is so long.
Yeah, it just goes on forever. This is only halfway through the fucking thing. We'll just like skip ahead 30 seconds and just see
Everyone
what's
else
happening
leave the
because
room
this goes on forever.
Except
They-
Soros.
It's still happening. No, go like way forward.
Yeah.
What
Wait, who
did
was
I
that?
tell
This chick. Who's this?
I have no idea.
What the? Didn't even have her say anything?
Now that he has launched his video game, he will be able to fund his larger operation and InfoWar and counter allies. And then he will have more video
How much of this are they doing?
children's
The
toys.
whole thing?
No, go like way ahead. Wait, more. Yeah.
911 was an inside job. The lottery is
911 was an inside job.
You tell them all. They do not visit
Now he's Hitler. He forgot what's going on. Now he's just being Hitler. Yeah.
That is an order from the New World Order.
When you download it,
Holy
when you
fuck,
share it,
dude.
it sends a very important cultural message.
Oh,
against
no,
tyranny.
don't do this.
Yeah. Just say, look, guys, isn't this funny? Can
Yeah,
I please,
hilarious, right? Buy the shit. Ha ha ha.
Can I please have some money, please?
Yeah, don't. Now.
My tangy tangerine funds have all dried up.
Yeah.
And I'm fucking really hurting here.
Yeah, another thing that you get in there is like this alpha male fucking pill. Like one of his pills, you know what I mean? It's like Supreme Alpha, whatever, enhanced or some shit.
Dude, his show, the past couple times I've heard it, they literally have the, like, penis ads that aren't penis ads where it's like, well, guys, I can't really say what it does to you,
Yeah,
downstairs, but, my wife is
Your wife will thank
my
you.
wife is sure glad I take these pills. Let's just keep it at that. You know, what I mean? Like, no, I think if it really worked, you'd probably just tell me that.
Yeah,
it's
you
a
would
fucking-
brag about it.
And I don't even know what you're offering. Is it
Yeah.
a boner? Is it enlargement?
Yeah.
Is it just
Is it menstruation?
Is it just smoothness?
Male menstruation?
Is it a penis smoothing pill?
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
take
Smooth
it. you know?
balls.
Yeah, right. Just you just fucking take a pill and they shine like glass.
Oh my God.
Right, yeah. Just all the hair just fucking shoots out like a porcupine.
Silky locks and smooth sack.
Yeah, and you all of a sudden you catch the sun on it and you just catch
Fucking burn somebody.
yeah, it's like with your watch.
Oh yeah, glint.
You ever have where you're sitting there reading a book in the middle of the day next to your window or something, and all of a sudden your house is on fire?
Yeah.
And you realize your bling done
Yeah.
did it again.
Yo, dude.
Shit.
Ain't fucking sit that close to the window, man.
I know. I told your ass. Your ass ain't supposed to be sitting by the window. All right, anyway.
I want to go back to the days when I used to do a good city accent.
Yeah, or an urban accent?
Yeah.
Sure.
The funny thing is people say, well, that's racist, but you don't know what race that guy is that I
Here's
just did.
the problem when you're
That guy could be white.
When you're
if you're
white-
in Detroit, that's how you sound too.
This happened to my
fine.
dad, man. Because my dad's impression of a black guy by the time I was a kid was ludicrous.
Oh, yeah?
Dude, it was like a 70s black guy. So my dad, if he was doing a black guy, he would be like, first of all, when white people used to impersonate black guys, they would do a lisp. Remember that Steve Martin thing we saw where he was
Yeah.
doing it and like, but my dad would be like, "Say, Dak," or like, "Slap me some skin." And
Oh,
shit like that.
yeah.
And that would be like his thing of a black guy, and I'd be like, dude,
That's that
not,
70s.
That's like not what a black
fucking
guy is
jive.
like anymore.
That's a jive, dude.
But that's happening to us now, probably. You know, where like our thing of a black guy is like from 2005.
Well, my thing of a black guy is my buddy Huey and shit.
Well, yeah,
They're
but
just-
I mean,
they're just like me, everyone. But I'm just talking about inner city folk where it's just, like I say, that could be, I mean, the one I did was pretty specific.
yeah. So like you choose, I think when you're young as a white guy,
Yeah.
you choose whatever your default black impression is going to be. Like mine,
Well, all my impressions.
mine tends to be like a New Orleans guy.
Yeah.
Because that's just where I was at
Yeah,
the
yeah,
time.
yeah.
So when
That's
I
the
was,
people you knew.
And when I was
That's the-
hanging out with a lot of black people,
Well, that's how you do
pr-
impressions, period.
you pick
Is-
up on their, you know.
Yeah,
that's
you like
them.
think of somebody that you actually knew
Yeah,
or have
yeah.
heard a lot of, and then that you know that's how you do
Everyone
any
you
sort
work
of
with
impression.
and shit and
Yeah,
whatever,
exactly.
and you just it starts to seep in,
Yeah.
and that's your black guy.
And then like same thing with any other impression.
we all of us have inside us a black guy just waiting to come out
Yes.
in inappropriate
but also
situations.
a British play.
Like-
But like that's how I do my British. You know what I mean? It'll just be like a character that I'm familiar with. You know what I'm saying? That's really what I'm doing. I'm not doing a British guy. I'm doing a guy. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So those impressions are probably amalgamations of people that you actually knew at one point. Because mine are. I do my one. This one
Yeah,
dude
but my
Pops that I
point,
knew in
my
Detroit.
point
Oh,
is,
go ahead. Yeah.
it's just part of the natural fucking
Yeah,
progression of
it's just
life
mimicry.
as a white guy. No, this is the point. As a white guy, it's part of a natural progression of life that your inner black guy becomes out of date. And when
Oh.
and it's a sad thing. It's like you know,
Yeah.
It's so what I'm saying is like you did yours. Mine is like a 2005, like
Cajun.
between Memphis and New Orleans, black guy somewhere,
Yeah.
you know. And that's like if I did that, like a 22-year-old would be like, nobody talks like that. And I was like with my dad, like, "Hey, Jack," and I'd be like, "Dude, what is that?"
Yeah,
He'd be
that is
like,
funny
"Oh."
though. If you think of like old '70s sitcoms, the Sanford and Sons and the Good Times and shit, the black sitcoms, versus like the fucking Different Strokes and whatever, like the white characters on those shows were like parodies. The Jeffersons, you know what I mean? You had like fucking the neighbor Tom that was all, "Hello, George, how are you?" You know what I mean? It was just such a like a white stereotype. It was funny. And then you had like the British guy, Mr. Bentley. You ever watch that show?
No.
Jesus Christ,
think
tell
so.
me that.
What I
But
was
no, I'm just-
I was just too caught up trying to make a neighbor Tom joke, and it just got away from me. Sorry, I was trying to think of what it would be.
But yeah,
like,
Tom and Helen Willis and fucking and
black
Mr.
neighbor,
Bentley.
that's just-
But it was just funny, like all of the white guy, characters on Sanford and Son, they were all like just like this sort of exaggerated stereotype of a white person. It's just like worked both ways. You know what I mean? Good Times, all that shit.
Well, yeah.
They were always like the staunch businessman that was like, gonna take no guff. You're out of here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That kind of fucking.
Like a Richard Pryor white guy.
Yes,
basically,
exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
Say, pal.
But then on like the fucking white sitcoms, then there'd be like the black guy that came because, you know, something happened and the rich white dude's going to help him with some fucking, you know, whatever, his building burnt down, whatever it is. And there was always just like this sadness to the character. And it was weird to me. I always thought like, is this how everything is? Right? It's fucked up.
What do you mean sad?
Like they were always like this, like a character that had like a sad backstory and they were down on their luck.
Yeah.
And
But
it was
then he'd
always that was the character.
Then he'd be too proud to
Yeah,
fucking
I'm too
take help
proud.
at
Like they were
first.
proud. Yeah, exactly. That was
His
always the narrative.
Kids
yes.
would come out in rags.
Yeah.
They'd be like, let us help you, Leroy.
Yeah.
He'd be like, we're fine on our own.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I don't take no charity.
Yeah. His
Not from you. Not from anyone.
eyes are all like yellow and African and
That ain't how my
angry
daddy
and, like,
raised me.
Yeah.
And then walks away. And I like that character.
He's great.
But I'm just saying it was always the same character on sitcoms in the 80s. But then the white guy was always the same character on black sitcoms. It's like just the way that they saw each other.
Till Jim Carrey
Hilarious.
was like the Jackie Robinson of that. And he kind of broke down a lot of the barriers, you know, and he's like, hey, I don't have to compromise who I am. And, you know, I can still be funny in this world, you know.
Jim
and they were
Carrey?
like, God damn, that white boy, he
Yeah,
get
yeah.
down, you know. And
Yeah. That was
they're
one of the
like-
Wayans.
I don't know. No, that's just how I talk sometimes.
Yeah.
Because
that's how you used to talk in the 90s.
because of my upbringing, yeah.
Yeah, when
it's-
you were rapping.
Yeah, I had to adapt. You
Yeah.
know,
I know.
they sent me to a bad kid school. I was the only white kid on the bus, and pretty soon I was speaking a pidgin language, an exotic pidgin language of boy. It was everything from stoner white suburban
Yes.
to like fake like wigger white suburban
Yeah.
to Jesus fake city black because their cousin lives in the city.
Yeah.
But
those
they
guys,
actually live in
goddamn it.
Woodridge.
Yeah.
God, it was an array.
Yeah, those schools were a
fantastic
fucking
array.
plethora of degeneracy and idiocy. And I loved being there because I didn't have to do anything.
The bad kid school?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Because real school, you had to fucking do shit. They expected all kinds of stuff. Once you
dude.
go to those, they're happy if you didn't throw a desk through
If
the
you
fucking
just didn't
class that
hurt
day.
someone or
Yeah.
or bring a gun
That's
there,
your
like, yeah,
expectation.
that
That's
was it. Yeah.
I fucking liked those. I was like, my mom was like, you're not going to be. And I was like, well, let's not do anything rash.
Wait a second. I get out of school at 11 a.m.
I don't have to go to
Yeah.
gym or art or any of the bullshit. I could just
Dude, it was hilarious. I never understood, like, starting my junior year of high school, it would be that you would get, you know, I would ditch a bunch of classes.
Yeah.
And then your punishment would be that you were suspended for a day.
Yeah, no, and then you get
I'd
a
be
day
like,
off.
Cool. Okay. So I never understood that one.
Well, that's
And
because
then-
most people's parents would like ground them or something. That was a serious thing but my parents were like, okay.
Yeah. Well,
guess.
because it got to the point where
Yeah,
they-
how many has this happened?
They were just
since
like,
fourth
whatever,
grade,
he's-
just straight.
he's going to fucking just go work in a factory or something. Who cares?
No, they knew. I'm sure
like-
my mom was like, he's gonna sell drugs.
Yeah, they didn't. They
They knew.
They tried a couple times probably, and it's like I remember my parents trying to discipline me as a teenager, but then it's like at some point you just make it known. Yeah, I don't care. I'm leaving. But whatever. Goodbye.
Yeah.
And then they're
Yeah,
like,
I
well,
mean,
what do we
they-
do?
But then they're
Handcuff
like,
him?
well, I don't want to not see my son anymore, so I guess I'll just whatever.
Yeah.
Then it's like,
See you next week, Mac.
but you know what? I think though, for at least you and I, and this is gonna sound very arrogant, but our parents probably saw in us like they'll be fine though. Like neither of us are complete idiots. You know what I mean? Like there was a lot of times I remember my mom waking up to my mom crying in the living room because I had gotten in this fucking brawl the night before. This is that story I told where I eventually got held down on the recliner and just fucking teed off on until my fucking face was exploded. And so my whole nose was
well,
fucked up.
boy, that's a
and-
nice holiday story, Tom. Jeez.
No, he beat me with garland.
Yeah.
It was nice. There was tinsel flying off. Each strike was just poof, poof. But yeah, I do remember like a lot of times like that where you were, you could tell your parents were like, okay, this dude's in trouble. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he might not come home one of these nights.
One time when
that
we
kind of shit.
stole a house that was bad.
Yeah.
It's classic. People leave, house gets stolen.
Take it.
Yeah. That was pretty bad. Yeah, they looked at me pretty worried
After
And,
that one?
Yeah, yeah. I remember my dad being like,
what?
Because at that time too, you never understand the gravity of anything. You're just trying to get fucking stoned at the park again. That's
Yeah.
all you care about. Like, and
You know other
I was
people are
like
going
being
there. and you're
like, dude,
"Ah."
what's the big deal? And my dad is like, how about spending a fucking year in jail? How about that for
Yeah.
a big deal? And I was like, what? That can happen? He's like, you're a fucking idiot. Like, oh god, there was a lot of things that I think any time generations are like moving and so much changes in the world between generations now that it's gonna be just like there's these points where you're gonna be looking at your kids or they were looking at us just like in total disbelief. Like, why would you do this?
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck?
Oh, yeah.
How are you this depraved and lacking of any moral guidance of any kind? Like, we raised you. Because they did. They
I know.
tried.
They
you know?
tried.
They were like,
There
you
wasn't
know,
a lot of attention to go around. There's a lot of kids in mine, so it was just like she tried, and it also was only one parent, so it was like really
yeah.
a lot of all right, make sure you guys are all good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we did a lot of the raising.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fine.
No, I know, but I just think that
What we're talking about is racist accents. That's where we started with this.
and our inner black man.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have an inner everything. I have an inner Japanese man, an inner Russian and German. You know, I have all of these things.
I
They
have
come
a
out once in a
few,
while.
yeah,
We have
yeah.
a inner Jesse Ventura. We have a, you know.
Yeah.
It's just when you're doing just accents, for some reason, there's like a few that people view as just racist, but then the rest are fine.
Yeah.
Makes no sense to me.
I have like
Like if I did a blimey, mate, you know, that kind of fucking like, you know, tea kettle fucking, what the fuck is that called? Cockney. Brit.
Yeah, tea kettle Britain. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Nobody's going to give a shit. But if
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, I saw, you know what I'm saying?
What if you did that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, ancient Chinese secret.
Nobody
That kind of
cares.
thing.
Yeah.
Nah, people do care.
Nah.
Yeah.
Does anyone?
You don't care.
No, but no one cares. I mean, if you care, guys, put it in the chat. Let's see if we want to do something about this. Hey, Tom,
Hey, yo.
run that shit back for me.
All right, let's.
What's your most controversial accent?
Well, my most controversial I already did.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see what happens, guys. Cancel us because that's how you know.
No, I mean the first one I did. Like
We have a
that-
show where
hey
there's
man, y'all got
fucking-
to get that motherfucking thing. Look at that, mate.
We have a show
That
where
kind of
we have
thing.
like 20 people and we're just desperate to get canceled. Where it's like, no, we heard this is how you really get famous.
Yeah.
Like
Then they'll notice.
all 20 people just boycott us and stop watching, and we just fade into further into obscurity and fucking madness.
I think that's what needs to happen. Maybe.
Yeah, we need to get. Our
I think that's how I
comeuppance.
eventually just shrink down to the singularity. Mm-hmm. Just shrink into myself until it's just.
Yeah, you'll just find me rambling to myself at the library, shaking in the corner.
Like, you have an apartment, dude.
Yeah, it's 2 blocks away. You don't understand.
Oh, I don't know.
I flew too close to the sun. We had 20 followers. We were almost there.
The pressure, man.
Jesus Christ.
The pressure.
Hey, if you guys are new to the show, hit the follow and
Yeah, hit
keep
all
up
the
with the
things.
show. You know, it's great for us.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Let's keep looking
Really
at
what we
this.
feed off of.
And it also funds the
Oh, yeah,
true
that's right.
information war against the globalists. So when you download this game and when you play this game,
Again,
you're
this
truly
stupid game we were
fighting
talking about, yeah.
tyranny.
Yeah. Now,
1776 worldwide. So I want
Let me
to
ask you
salute
this.
again.
What? He looks crazy now.
he does look insane, but he's also old. He also looks like a different person. Did they substitute him?
No, he's supposed to
another
be.
case?
I always thought this was weird, and I thought this since he was like 34 or something.
Yeah.
When he was pretending not to be Bill Hicks and shit, and it was like he's supposedly I think like maybe 2 or 3 years older than you.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's what he's
around my age.
supposed to be.
Yeah.
Bullshit,
Dude, I
he's
got
like
a buddy-
59. Look at
I
him.
got a buddy that looks basically exactly like that who's my age.
Yeah, I guess I
For
don't know.
sure. Like, yeah. Like about
Something
that.
about him seems weird these days. He's
But
very-
also, now this is my question though. Okay, so we were kind of ragging on him about, making
Everything,
this
just
sort of
whatever,
ploy that it's like, rather than just like, oh, I'm just trying to do a quick cash grab with a fun little game, just it's funny. You guys like me,
Well-
take it, whatever. He's like trying to do this like ploy of like it's funding the anti-establishment, free speech, blah blah blah, liberty, this and that. But my question is does he actually use a lot of his money to just fund the network that he's doing. You know what I mean? Like, I think he does do that. He's rich. I'm sure he lives in a.
Yeah, well, it's not fucking cheap to have your own operation like that.
Not at all.
You know, I mean, yeah.
So is this more like a fundraiser rather than like a get rich thing?
I honestly can't imagine the ins and outs of the entire thing. That's
No.
probably why I've never been successful at any of this. Because I can't even fucking envision how it works.
I know. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and how do you?
This doesn't make sense. What we're doing.
No, sure, it really doesn't. And expecting this to fucking yield any sort of results. Although I do like our background tonight. It's
I do
kind
too.
Of,
I really like it.
It's kind of classy, kind of romantic.
Yeah.
As I said, when we're done with this, we are going to sit down. Oh, that's not even a table. It's like a picnic. Or is it
Yeah,
a table?
It's a long bench table.
Yeah, okay, yeah. We're going to sit down Japanesey style. And
Oh, I need that pumpkin.
yeah, and eat pumpkin sushi. Yeah, and drink our sake. And have a real good time because I think we're about to be out of here, right?
Yes, we are.
And it was great to be with you guys.
It was
as
Black
always.
Wednesday.
And thanks.
Fucking around on Radioville, you guys, and
Yeah, I have to fucking get home off of these roads,
Why is
by the
that?
way, because the drunk drivers all over the place. They'll
yeah.
they'll mash me to mush. they'll tear me limb from limb and throw me across the desert.
Weren't you in their ranks up till about a week ago?
You know what? It's funny. Every time I quit drinking for, what has it been, 10 days or something? And I
Yeah.
do, dude, it's hilarious how fast. And I know I'm doing it.
That you judge.
Oh, dude, I
Yeah.
just started looking around at everybody like, you
fucking loser.
drunks. Don't you know that's poison?
Jesus Christ.
Do you
Fucking
realize, like-
losers do I know?
Do you realize how much better you could feel? I don't think
Yeah.
you do. I don't think you even remember what feeling
Or it's
good
like,
is.
dude. I mean, I'd like to do something, but everyone I know is a fucking drunk.
Well, that
so
is
what am
the-
I going to do?
That is the thing about when you try to dry out for a while.
You got nothing to do.
There's nothing going on.
Nothing.
I mean, I've been doing some stuff. Here, you know what?
I just do
it-
racist accents in my bedroom and shit.
We'll do an extra few minutes because I have been doing some stuff. Yeah, walk around my house, dude. I gotta stop. The constant, I would say inner monologue, but it is verbal, and it's just me walking around in my house by myself, just with a bad habit of just nonsensically spewing a string of the most offensive things I can possibly think of for
Yeah.
some reason. I don't know why. It's just a habit.
It makes sense though.
And I know that it's going to somehow bleed into my because I get really stoned and go out in society. And at some point, it's going to come around to where it just, you know what I mean? And it's going to be
Yeah,
bad, dude.
verbal
some
vomit.
chick at the coffee shop is going to call the FBI. I'd be like, fuck, dude. And so, yeah, anyways, what the hell was the point of this? I was stuff I've been doing. Yeah. Sober stuff, you know. Because here's what you end up doing: you start fucking working on weird projects, you know. And I'm
and
starting to
tripling down on the weed.
yeah, smoking a lot of weed and getting real fucking weird. And so me and my friend Paul were working on some stuff, repurposing.
Oh yeah, what is this?
So I got a lot of old gear and things that I don't like to throw away because it's stuff from the 50s, 60s, 70s, maybe
Sure.
even older. One example is a suitcase record player, right? Or an old mixing board, a big old mixing board. Now,
Sure.
we have an idea to start repurposing all stuff like this that you can get that's never going to be fixed and
Yeah.
whatever, but there's still something heavy and cool and Americana and
Yeah.
aesthetically pleasing about it.
Nostalgic, even though it's from a time that you weren't actually in, but there's
Yeah.
some sort of sense of nostalgia anyways.
And then
That's weird.
doing things, repurposing it into furniture and home decor and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And doing, you know what I mean? We get little lighting things going
know I do.
and cool shit like that. So that's a project I've been working on, is turning a mixing board into a chair. It sounds like the dumbest thing you've ever heard in your entire life, but hopefully soon I'll get you guys some prototype pictures. Now nobody steal this idea
Oh,
and
no,
go out
that's
and get this
stolen
exact
already,
same
bro.
1970s mixing board.
You
and
know what's
take it
gonna
apart.
happen.
But no, so that's what you end up doing when you're sober. I also have a thing called a clonk that I'm going to get back into doing. I did this last time I was sober. It's a clock kind of. It's called a clonk, but it runs with a fishing reel, and it's a gear system, right, that I built, and it's just hands that spin randomly at random times, and it rings a bell, and there's a little guy dancing. It's a crazy fucking thing. It's really annoying and insane, and it's huge and sits on a table.
The clonk, everyone.
Well, the
Get
slogan,
yours today.
The slogan is the clonk, the home decor that refuses to tell time. Okay, so I'm doing stuff like this, and it's repurposing, right? It's art.
No,
And,
it sounds healthy.
Yeah, it's cool. But yeah, whatever, stuff like that. What was the other thing? Yeah, no, I don't want to give too much of it away. But the name of the company, I think I can say, it's because it's me and my friend Paul. So we're gonna go, Vinny and Paul's repurposed home furnishings and decor and Sons. That's what I thought of. And then we're gonna have 2 little like wooden sons, And it's gonna be our gimmick.
And
Our
yeah,
sons.
and 2 sons on the business
Our
card.
2 little wooden boys.
Oh, like
So,
that, like
yeah.
a marionette.
Yeah, we're gonna be like a wholesome like dads. With
Oh,
our
you should
little
try and
wooden
make
sons.
a marionette out of some other, like repurpose something into some sort of fucking marionette that you can sort of parade around.
You know what?
Something with moving parts, strings.
I think I better repurpose my ass into my Lincoln and be heading home before these crazy ass drunk drivers.
That's true.
Tear me limb to limb, throw me across the desert till I'm just a fucking cactus bramble weed, just rolling around because they're after me. That's
The
one
drunk
thing. I know.
drivers?
Yeah, the whole way home, I'm gonna be terrified because they're fucking darting out of bushes.
You should have brought a clonk.
Huh? I know. Well, that way I wouldn't be so concerned about time.
Yeah, you'd be fucking so annoyed.
By the way, I think
By the clonk.
I think I have developed like a phobia of time passing, which is crazy because what do you do about that?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I know. I probably should stop smoking so much weed.
That's
but
probably what it
But
is.
today I was convinced that I have like a clinical phobia of like each second passing. That's fucked up, right? And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm
yeah.
like, I can't stop thinking about it, which is no way to live,
But you stopped thinking about it, right?
For a while I was doing the show, but now it's back.
Ah, fuck.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna.
All right, we're keeping on going, fellas.
Yeah. we have to do the show forever, or the fear happens. Guys, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes I was like confused and stoned. Sometimes I was having a great time. We'll look back at the tapes later and we'll see what we did.
Yeah, and just remember, it's fall, y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And we welcome y'all to enjoy the changing of seasons along with us and meet us back here next week at 8 p.m. just like we are every weekend here.
Every week.
Every week here at that time.
We too stoned.
Yeah, dude. Okay.
Bye.